Hello. What's up this afternoon, everyone? It is a wonderful Thursday. Finally, Wizards, ban the Lurrus. It is gone. It is dead. It is over in Modern and in Pioneer. It took them way too long. Oh my god, it took them way too long. But better late than never. And we finally got there. Lurrus banned in every relevant format, and I know it's not banned in Historic yet. Not banned in Historic, but I honestly think we're gonna get the ban announcement in Historic really soon. There's a big Historic tournament this weekend. I forget, Players Championship, I think it is. But there's a big tournament this weekend. I think that as soon as that's done, I expect that we get it banned there too. And then we can pretend like Lurrus does not exist in any format. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy. Lurrus is the worst. It is the worst. The companion mechanic is the worst, and I'm super happy not to have to deal with it anymore. Anyway, Alchemy, that's right, they don't ban things anymore, do they? What would they, if they want to Alchemy change it, here's what you do. Really simple. You know what you do? You just take and erase the companion text from it. Same exact card, 3 mana, 3/2, cat, nightmare, legend, lifelink. Once each turn you cast a permanent from mana value 2 or less from your graveyard. Leave that exact thing. Just erase the companion text. Yeah, my Spotify died and my Discord died all in like the last hour. Just out of the blue, everything's down. But good thing is Twitch is up and we're gonna have some fun today. So this deck, I'm actually really excited about. If you know me, you know I love doubling things up, including tokens. I'm a big Anointed Procession fan, and this deck, Lucid, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. How happy would you be to have a Blood Moon type effect on a legendary body? Ooh, oh my god. Actually, not that happy. I have this personal rule, Doug, where I do not play Blood Moon in Commander. If I play like CDH or something, I will, but I try not to mess with people's lands too much in Commander, because it just feels... maybe I should get over that and start doing it, but I just feel bad about it. So this deck, oh my goodness, I'm excited about this. People have been asking me about this deck for a while. They've been asking, why not Hidden Stockpile and Oni-Cult Anvil together? And this is the window. Lurrus is gone. We are no longer restricted to having to play 2 mana value or less permanents in decks like this. So that means we get Hidden Stockpiles, we get Oni-Cult Anvils, and we get Anointed Procession as our finisher to double up all of our tokens. This deck is gonna grind. It's gonna draw cards. It's gonna sacrifice things. It's gonna make lots of tokens. I'm really hopeful that it works. I haven't got to play it yet. We'll have to see. I do play Strip Mine. That is true. Factional. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Russell Wilson to the Broncos? Really? Is that actually true? Thank you so much for your subscription. Wow, it is actually true according to ESPN. Wow, that's actually, I don't know if you're a football fan. If you're not a football fan, you probably have no idea why that matters, but that's actually like a really big deal for football. Interesting. Anyway, today that's what we're doing. We're grinding. The weird thing about this deck is it is actually completely legal in Historic as well. You can play the same exact 75 in Historic as we can in Pioneer. So we're going to start in Pioneer, and then we'll see. Maybe we switch over and try it a little bit in the Historic format as well. I mean, it's also Modern legal. You could play the same exact deck in Modern. I think it would be less successful in Modern. But anyway, no Lurrus. Time to have some fun with Anointed Procession. So anyway, reminders, replay YouTube. That's we invite all the old streams, including this one to the future, normal YouTube. What do we got coming up on the normal YouTube? Tomorrow, it's Ishin time. It is Pain Harmonicon time. I think you're really going to like tomorrow's Against Odds deck. It is a super sweet one. So that's coming up tomorrow. Yesterday we had some Budget Magic, playing some Modern with Light Pause Auras. We played, we talked about the banning, so there's a ton of stuff on the YouTube. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. And if you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com. Even get a free goldfish sticker. Just let them know you want one in your order notes and they'll hook you up. Otherwise, Starshoot, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Question for you, chat. Would you play Pioneer if it was on Arena? I know for me personally, I don't play Moto because I don't want to learn, so I stick to Historic. I would play, okay, yes and no. Yes, I would love to play, I would love to be able to play Pioneer on Arena. If Pioneer was on Arena, we would be streaming on Arena today playing this deck rather than playing on Moto. On the other hand, I still am very worried about the economy things. That's the one catch. If Poineer was on Arena and also accessible enough, 100% that's where I'd play it. The concern I would have is if it's on Arena, but it's going to be $40 million to build every deck, I might stick to Moto just because I can use the card rental programs. Like, I was thinking about it because this came up over the weekend. We were talking about Poineer coming to Arena potentially, and I was thinking about it, the way that we play so many different decks each week. Between the stream and the YouTube, we probably play, we play like 8 different decks, maybe 7 or 8 different decks. Many of those are Modern and Poineer. If I had to buy all those decks on Arena, I don't know if I could do it, honestly. And this is my job. Like, I make Magic content for a living, and I don't know if I'd be able to do it. I don't think I'd be able to. So I might still have to play on Moto just because of the economy. But anyway, Discord, check it out once it comes back, new and improved. Merch page, token t-shirts, playmats, gonna always support the stream and the channel and the site. Donations, always appreciated, never required. $2 or more gets your message read on stream. For the longest time, I wanted Poineer on Arena for 3.5 years to be exact. But after Alchemy and everything else, I have completely ditched Arena. If they add it now, I won't go back. Wow, Jonathan, are you playing Moto? Discord is dead at the moment, or it was 15 minutes ago. Along with Spotify, no music, no Discord. Good time to be playing Magic, I guess. Anyway, let's talk about this deck. I once asked Card Kingdom to make it rain Saffron Olive stickers, and they did not disappoint. Oh, wait, did they really, like, throw a whole bunch of them, make it rain? Anyway, this deck, oh my goodness, I'm hyped about this. So what are we doing with this deck? We are grinding. If you look at this deck, we have a single creature, Full Dare and Epicure, a single 1/1. That is our one creature in this entire deck. So how are we planning on winning? Well, the idea of this deck is in the early game, we're going to be playing some random artifacts, some synthesizers, some Terrarions, but what we're really trying to set up is hidden stockpiles and Oni-Cult Anvil. They're actually very similar. Oni-Cult Anvil, when artifact leaves the battlefield, you get to make a 1/1 once each turn. Hidden Stockpile, at the beginning of your end step, if a permanent left the battlefield. For Revolt, you get a 1/1 servo. You can sack a creature to scry 1. This lets you sack a creature to deal a damage. So we want to get as many of these on the battlefield as possible. So every time we sacrifice something, we're going to be getting a ton of tokens. If we have 2 of these, Oni-Cult Anvils and Hidden Stockpiles, we get 2 tokens, 3 tokens, 4 tokens. But then as we scry through our deck, eventually we're going to find our Anointed Processions. And that's when things get really wild. Once we get the Anointed Processions, every Hidden Stockpile trigger, every Oni-Cult Anvil trigger is giving us double the tokens. So then we can be making a ton of tokens each turn. So we just make this huge board and we sacrifice stuff to makeshift mutations, maybe drain with Meat Hook Massacres, and eventually, little by little, 1/1 by 1/1, servo by servo, hopefully drain our opponent out of the game. The other upside about this deck is we have a ton of good removal because we have all these random sackable things. Rite of Oblivion, kind of absurd. Flashback, getting rid of anything. We get Fatal Pushes, will always be turned on because we're always sacrificing stuff. We get Volt Surge for more sacrifice effects, and that's essentially the plan of the deck. Grind and grind and grind, find the Anointed Processions. So we're starting in, you know, I have high hopes for this deck? Really? Oh my goodness, I hope it's good. The nice thing about this deck, as I said, is it is also legal in Historic. So if it flops in Pioneer, we can try it in Historic. And between one of those formats, it's gotta work. Beam Marnie, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey Seth, is this based on the email I sent you the other week? This is Nate in Ohio. Ooh, that might have subconsciously inspired me, Nate in Ohio. Yeah, I remember you sending me a list with both of those pieces in it. So I'm sure that played a role in me wanting to put it together. It's also inspired by some lists that have been doing well, but those were all Lurrus lists that are similar, but they were built around Lurrus, and who cares about the cat? The cat is gone. We're not talking about that today. That's done and over with, thankfully. What do you think of the banning? Are you happy? I mostly play paper now, occasionally Moto, and I'm someone who plays Arena 6 or 7 days a week. No joke. Wow, that's a big change. That's a big change. Oh, question chat. Outside of the cat banning, do you play best of 3 or best of 1 on Arena? This is something. So we were talking about on the podcast. Ooh, Anvil, Anointed Procession. I mean, we're gonna try this. We're gonna give it a go. What do you play in Arena? Are you a best of 1 or a best of 3? Because we were talking about the stats that got published on the podcast that show like best of 3 is what, a third of the popularity of best of 1? Best of 1, best of 3. So that seems like a mix. Secondary question, if you're someone who plays best of one, does that mean you're also partial to... Oh, is this like Boggles? Elvish Mystic. If you're someone who plays best of one, do you also prefer best of one content? Or do you prefer best of three, or does it not matter? Boon. Ooh. All right, let's just play this Sacred Foundry. No big deal. Don't worry about it, opponent. We're definitely not gonna Meat Hook Massacre your life away. You watch both. Okay, that makes sense. You play both. That's interesting. So why do you play both? Is it like, is it a depending on how much time you have thing? Like if you're gonna sit down and play Arena for a few hours, you're gonna play best of three, but if you don't have as much time, you're gonna play best of one? Is it one of those things? Fatal Push A. Oh, well, Hive of the Eye Tyrant. The one thing I'm nervous about is our opponent playing a Winota here. Like, land Winota, they get a trigger, could be bad. I mean, if we untap and Meat Hook away their board, life is pretty good. And we got Anvil number 1, and Anointed Procession's in hand. Best of 1 for Jank. Ooh, interesting. Best of 1 for Jank, best of 3 for good decks. So do you think that... Yeah, Moto prices are so cheap for a lot of cards like that are mostly expensive in paper for Commander. Oh my god, is this Winota? Winota, but with no trigger? Yes, okay. Well, this is awkward. Whenever a non-human attacks... The ban is in effect. There's no Lurruses. I'm wondering if we can just let Winota live and still Meat Hook. Because then we can sack the Meat Hook next turn to kill Winota. Like, it doesn't trigger itself. So what's it going to do? Unless they have, like, a hasty creature? Yeah, I think Meat Hook on 1 is fine. Meat Hook on 1. And then we don't have to sack the Anvil, which is nice. And then next turn we can sack Meat Hook and get rid of Winota. Yeah, let's do that. Meat Hook, out of here, elves. No Winota triggers for you. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Have you played Modern since the ban? I was actually playing some Modern this morning for... Do you want to see Modern? Would you rather see Modern? How about this? Let's do a vote. Let's do a vote, chat. Would you be preferring to see what Modern looks like without Lurrus? Because I guess that actually makes some amount of sense. We could always play this deck in the future if y'all really want to see some Modern. But we'd have to figure out a deck to play. Okay, so now we get to... Oh, this is even better. Oh, we get to synthesize. Oh, this is going to be good. Synthesize. Oh, hit a Rite of Oblivion. That is even better. Rite of Oblivion. Sack the synthesizer. Out of here, Winota. Give us those triggers. Here comes the dorks. Anointed Procession in hand. Oh, an Anvil that we can't cast. That's fine, that's fine. Play the tap land. Pass the turn. Next turn, we get an Anointed Procession. Play the Anvil deck in Modern. I don't feel like the... Okay, Brutal Cathar. Oh, no. Oh, we should have sacked that. Okay, we get to sack that. Boom. No value for you, Brutal Cathar. I mean, that was kind of my thinking, is that Modern was going to be the same. I honestly don't think that like the archetypes change too much based on the banning. I think the archetypes mostly stay the same. Let's get on our Anointed Procession. Except you might see more of like the bigger mana decks and like more Primeval Titans running around, but the problem with Blood Moon is Boseiju, although I love me some Blood Moon. And I think Blood Moon... So what I see happening is decks like Primeval Titan decks probably get better, which makes Blood Moon better. But at the same time... Ward, pay 3 life. Yeah, let's just kill that. Oh, we're so close. We just need to get a trigger going. Rite of Oblivion. Sack the Meat Hook Massacre. Pay the 3, kill the dork. Pass the turn. Should have left up black mana. No big deal. You want to see some Blood Moons? Do you think it'll slow down Modern overall? So my initial gut reaction to the banning is nothing really. Like, if you look at the decks that play Lurrus in Modern, I think they all still exist. Like Hammer Time in Burn and Castle Anvil's kind of sweet. Hammer Time in Burn and all that stuff. I think all those decks still keep existing and are still fine. So I don't know if I see a huge metagame shift coming out of this in Modern. Like, I think that decks that don't have Lurrus probably get a slight bump, but all those decks were still good decks even without Lurrus existing. So I don't think those decks disappear. Like, I think the meta stays the same. The other reason I think it stays mostly the same is so many decks played Lurrus. It was like 1 out of 3 decks rough. Okay, here we go. Synthesize. That's what we wanted. Here comes the... Oh, this is where the deck's going to go off. Synthesize. We hit a Volt Surge. We get to sack the Synthesizer. We get to make triple the tokens. 4 constructs. Ping you. Then we Rite of Oblivion, because we don't want to lose it forever. Sacrifice a construct. And then... we go to combat and pass the... Oh, we're going off. We're crushing them. There was an official banning of Lurrus. Lurrus got banned yesterday. You can still Fatal Pup the flip creature. It has the same mana value as the front side, though. So it would still be a 3-drop. It used to be that it was 0, but they changed it so the mana value stays. Do you think that Saga should be banned? I'm against it because I think it powers so many completely different decks, as opposed to Ragavan and its color bias, and Amulet should probably be bad. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. I'm curious to see if anything changes because of the bannings. Ooh, let me see, Sai. I'm curious to see if anything changes. I think that Lurrus was the biggest problem. And like I mentioned in the video yesterday, like the big problem with Lurrus... Oh, we're going off. The big problem with Lurrus is, so we get it and hit ya. Anvil, sack it. Oh, so many tokens. Pass the turn. How do you stop the token onslaught? Super curious what Anvil Tribal is. We have actual Anvil, Oni-Cult Anvil, and we have pseudo Anvil in hidden Stockpile, and now we got Anointed Procession to power it all up and hold it all together. So that is the tribal, essentially. Oh, stream mode, yeah. Once we go back in the match, I'll get in stream mode. Ooh, free Magic Online decks. Hey, thank you, Labrador. Here's my take on a modern classic. Is it any good? 12 ticks Elves. Ooh. I think Elves is a pretty reasonable budget archetype. I think you get most of the good stuff. The Moto prices are so cheap. You get stuff like Heritage Druid that's really expensive. For a budget deck, at least in paper, along with like Elvis Champion. We've played Elves similar to this, like Lordy beatdown Elves in the past. I think it's a pretty reasonable budget deck. I like it. I didn't realize it was cheap enough to be a free deck though, Labrador. That could be a good one to revisit. Neo Delve. Ooh, I actually saw someone doing something similar to this the other day with Neoform sacking Delve things to get Coma. When it works, it's kind of unstoppable feeling. And I like the Hooting Mandrills for consistency. I've seen some people send me lists that just have Tassiger, but it feels too inconsistent. With 8 of the big Delvers, I feel like it could actually be a pretty legit combo deck. So yeah, I like the idea. That could be a fun one to try. Just for Devil Advocate, if you say nothing really changes from the ban, what's the point? So I should say, I mean, nothing really changes on I don't think much changes on an archetype level. Like, I think that decks are going to change. And we could probably do the whole stream just talking about this banning and its impact and what is or is not going to happen. But if you look at, let me give you a couple examples here. We'll look at this, but we should probably sideboard. We're up against Winota. Actually, maybe we don't change much of anything. Like, maybe this is just, it is what it is, and we kill your stuff, and yeah, run it back. So here's an example of what I was trying to say. So, decks are going to change because of this banning. So if you look at Hammer Time, it's a deck that always plays Lurrus. And if you look at its deck list, a lot of the cards are still going to be in the Hammer Time deck list. I don't think Hammer Time's going away. It existed before Lurrus. It'll exist without Lurrus. A lot of the cards are still going to be the same. You're still Pure Steel Paladin. You're still Stone Forging. You're still getting Colossus Hammers. You still need Sigarda Aid. So a lot of those cards are going to remain in the deck whether or not Lurrus exists. So even with Lurrus being banned, those cards are going to be there. What does change, though, is now that Lurrus is gone, now your Hammer Time deck, if you want to, you can play a Batter Skull, or a Cauldron Complete, or a Sword of Fire and Ice, which you just couldn't do before. Because the cost of playing those cards, even though those cards would be really good in the deck, is you lose Lurrus, and Lurrus is just absurd. Like, it is so over the top power level wise that it's almost never the right choice to drop your Lurrus to play something else in your main deck, because something else doesn't get to start in your hand every game. Like, it's not a companion. If your Batter Skull was a companion, then maybe you'd have a conversation, or your Sword of Fire and Ice, but that's not how it works. That's why Companion's so absurd. So that, I think, is what is going to happen. Or a 3-mana Teferi would be another example. Or if you go to Death Shadow. Death Shadow existed before Lurrus. It'll exist after Lurrus. You're still going to play your Death Shadow. You're still probably going to have Ragavans or whatever, because they're really strong cards. But you might not be playing Mishra's Bauble anymore, Dress Down. You can play Street Wraith again. You can play Liliana the Veil again. So it gives you these more options. So my guess is most of the decks, the one exception might be the Rakdos Lurrus deck, which is pretty built around Lurrus more so than other decks, although it's still just a pile of Modern Horizons 2 cards, so it's probably still going to be fine. But I think that pretty much every Lurrus deck still exists. It'll still be fine. It gets a little worse compared to Murktide Regent or Amulet Titan or a Yarion pile that didn't lose anything, but they'll still exist. So I'm not expecting a whole-scale change in the meta. I'm expecting Amulet Titan probably gets a little better. Maybe Hammer Time gets a little worse. Maybe you see some decks go from, tier 2 to tier 1 or tier 1 to tier 2. But I think you're going to see a huge change within the archetypes. And that's what excites me, is all these possibilities. As someone who loves brewing decks, and that's my favorite part of Magic, yeah, it's fine. As someone who loves brewing decks, being restricted to permanence 2 mana or less, or playing your deck suboptimally by not playing Lurrus, that's a really just annoying position to be in. And that is a position of 35% of the decks in Modern, and close to that in Pioneer as well. So that opens up possibilities. Even our deck today, it would be a tough sell to play Anointed Procession from a competitive perspective if Lurrus was in the format. It would be a very, very tough sell. Do we just kill? Yeah, we probably just got to kill this. It would be a very, very tough sell to play a non-Lurrus card that makes you lose Lurrus. So the only other bannings were in Pauper. In Pauper, I know. What were the Pauper bannings? I was mostly focused on Lurrus being gone. 2 cards were unbanned, or 1 card was unbanned and 2 cards were banned, if I remember correctly. 1, 2. Oni-Cult Anvil Part 1. Go. Hey Goldfish, if I made a list of all the historic decks with a win rate around 50% with no rares, would you make a list for the site like you did for Pioneer or Modern? How about for Alchemy Standard, which would be more temporary? Potentially. Opponent. Potentially Rooker. I would be interested in that. How many are there? Actually, yeah, letting them exile, it's probably just better here. Opponent gets and hits us. This could be a problem. We could be getting smacked by Oenoda here, which is not good. Voldaren Epicure. Map unban, Disciple of Vault ban, Relay ban. That sounds right. So powering up Tron, powering down Affinity and Storm. Best of 1 Magic isn't real Magic. Best of 1 generates decks that don't exist in the meta. I mean, so I know that real Magic is probably not the perfect term, and I can see why people would take issue with that. It's definitely not traditional Magic. I would agree that it's not how I am used to playing Magic and most enjoy playing Magic. Can you speak on the Selesnya hardened scales in Modern without Lurrus? Ooh, let's pull up hardened scales. So what do we want to do here? We got to be warned of Winota. The problem is... Ugh. Yeah, we might just be dying. Come to think of it, on second thought, we might just be dying. Hidden Stockpile. If our opponent just has Winota, though, we're so wrecked. Hardened Scales in Modern. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I would want to add to the deck. So the deck doesn't really depend on Lurrus in any way. There's very few Lurrus decks that depend on Lurrus existing. Urza Saga is probably the better... Brutal cheese. Oh my god, all the removal in the world. Okay, thank you, opponent. The Tony Mac. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. Opponent making the biggest board. Getting ready for the Winota. I'm a little bit nervous. Opponent gets in, hits us. Have you seen the Orzhov Yarian pile? What do you think of it? Ooh. I'm not sure if I've seen Orzhov Yarian pile or not. How do we do this? Let's play the Anvil. Blood Crypt, untap. Deadly Dispute. Sack the blood token. Start our token production. Draw. Ooh, nothing helpful. All right, pass the turn. Okay, that's a concern. That's a concern. That's a bit of a concern. Opponent untapped. If they have a note, I think we're dead. They just get so many triggers. Selfless Spirit. Well, it's not a Winota. That's good news. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks with everything. Well, we will block and block. Actually, block and block the Brutal Cathar. I assume our opponent sacks a Selfless Spirit. Can we stabilize? Ooh, let me see you swing for 0. Opponent. All right, gonna make it indestructible. Oh, maybe I did see that. I didn't realize it was a Yarian vial. Opponent. Yeah, I actually played against this deck earlier today. Oh, more lands. Okay, so Synthesizer. Draws action. Hidden Stockpile. Well, we can make a lot of tokens. I guess that's good. Synthesizer. Draw nothing. Ping you. Oh, these lands. Hitting all these lands is definitely bad news. Hidden Stockpile. Blood Crypt tapped. Oh, does this keep us alive? Double the tokens, double the fun. Please not Winota. Yeah, I think the idea of the deck's really cool. I mean, it's kind of a grief combo deck, so we've seen those in the past, but I think the new additions are sweet. The Touch of the Spirit Realm seems like a really cool backup ephemerate that seems pretty good, so yeah, I like the idea of the deck quite a bit. Hey Seth, I opened a another one. I opened a Ragavan today. Yeah, let's sack to scry 1. We really need a Meat Hook Massacre, Voldaran Epicure. I don't think that's good enough. It does give us a blood. Yeah, I think we gotta go bottom. All right, opponent goes to combat. Attacks. Gonna try to kill us with the flyers? Oh, they drew so many Brutal Cathars, but not Winotas, thankfully. Oh, no stream mode, you're right. Good call. There we go. Stream mode achieved. Yeah, Touch of the Spirit Realm's a really powerful card. Like, removal that also does other things is really good. I opened a Ragavan today. Should I sell him fast because of Lurrus ban, or do I sit on him and wait? In paper or on Magic Online? I think my concern with Ragavan would be it getting banned itself. I don't think that Lurrus really changes the equation too much. All right, opponent plays a land. We're going to stop on our upkeep to scry. I think. Upkeep Scry. Come on, deck. Make a token. Oh! Yes. Oh, the meatball right on time. Right on time. Okay. Let's do a tiny bit of massacring. just a little bit of massacring. Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. I don't. Yeah, that's not gonna help about it. I don't think that it being banned really changes a whole lot. Honestly, I think that Ragavan's still busted. I think that there is a chance that Ragavan itself gets banned eventually, so that could be a reason to. Wow, it was so good. That could be a reason to get rid of it now, but oh, that was a brutal meat hook massacre. And now I think we're good. Now we do the token grind in our 1/1s. Eventually, sooner or later, Voice of Resurgence. We're also up to 8. Yeah, I mean, it's still, yeah, it doesn't save their stuff, but it does offer some value. All right. Anointed Procession, please. Terrarion. Well, play Urborg. Play Terrarion. Sack Terrarion. Draw a card. More lands. Ooh. Sack the blood. Discard the land. Volt Surge. Well, go to combat. Hit ya. I mean, this is gonna work. This is working. I missed wait, what trigger did I miss? Opponent. Untapping, facing down, a huge pile of hidden stockpile tokens. Hey Seth, been enjoying your YouTube content for years. First time catching you live. Hope you're doing well. Hey, what's up, regular Bugman? Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm doing wonderfully. An opponent scoops it up. So far, so good. Maybe the deck's good. Maybe the deck's actually good. I'm curious what your thoughts are on the bannings, though, chat. Like, my thought was we're not going to see a huge shakeup in Modern. As far as what decks are actually playable, the decks will change, but the overall meta, I think, is more shifting between tiers rather than like a whole new meta. But I'm curious, I could be wrong. I came in late. Why are we banning nerfing Ragavan, Dragon Rage Channeler, Heat decks? Wait, we are? I don't think we. I mean, I want to see what happens now that Lurrus is gone. Because I very well could be wrong, and we could potentially have more changes than I'm expecting. I mean, Lurrus was. It's hard for anyone to defend Lurrus, I think. I consider Companions to be a historic mistake. Do you think? I 100% think Lurrus will be banned in Historic. My thinking is they would have banned it yesterday if they didn't have the Players' Championship coming up this weekend. I think the deadline to submit deck list was like yesterday or today for the tournament. So I feel like Wizards didn't want to touch Historic. They have this thing about not messing with formats right before a tournament. So I think that that's why it didn't get banned in Historic, but I 1,000,000% think it'll get banned there too. Like it's just a mistake. It's one of those cards that we're going to try to erase out of the history of Magic. We'll remember alongside like Necro Summers and Eldrazi Winters, the 2 years when Lurrus just dominated every format. I mean, I guess changing would be more, I guess that's true. Changing would be more likely. Hey, Seth, handsome fella. Vince and Goldfish are really nice. Getting back into Magic. Hey, welcome back, Filter Temp Name. Good to see you. Good to see ya. Ooh, hidden stockpile. Okay, no red mana, but we should draw red mana, right? We're gonna draw it. We'll be fine. Wizards' new companions were a mistake. That's what drives me most crazy. All right, rant time. Small little rant time. So if you go back and read about companions, years before they actually printed companions, there's actually a Mark Rosewater article. You can find it over on the Mothership. There was actually an article where Mark Rosewater talked about creating a mechanic that was essentially companions, where the card was going to be starting in your hand every game, blah, 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 blah. So we essentially talked about creating the... Ooh, how do we do this? How do we do this? All right, let's... Oh, we got to think now. We got to think. Rant is still coming, I promise. The rant's still coming. So if we play this, we play this. This can kill that. I feel like we need to play a red card. Or we get down Hidden Stockpile. But Hidden Stockpile, we got to be able to kill all these flyers, which is going to be a bit of a concern. So if we play Hidden Stockpile, next turn we can Epic your Rite of Oblivion. That's fine. Let's do that. So Urborg, Hidden Stockpile. Pass the dirt. So years before, ooh, let me see, Knight. I will pull up the deck list. Ooh, let me see, Thingham. So years before they printed companions, Mark Rosewater wrote an article about a mechanic that was essentially companion and talked about having interns playtest it. And this was exaggerated for effect and, literary exaggeration or whatever. But the moral of the story, the end of the article, was Mark Rosewater came back the next day after having the interns playtest this mechanic, and they had scrawled, "Variance is the lifeblood of the game. If this is the direction that Magic design is heading, we want no part of it." Basically, it was horrible. They knew it was horrible. Wizards knew. That was in their own article. And for some reason, Wizards deceived themselves into thinking that, I don't even know, that it would be worth it, that it wasn't going to be like they knew it was going to be. I don't know the justification for it, but that's why I think companions are the worst mechanic of all time. I'm sympathetic of design mistakes. Sometimes... you're changing Skull Clamp and it's too broken. Sometimes you print vehicles for the first time and some of them are too good. That happens. But when you know, and you say yourselves, that it's broken, that's a little bit different. That's a little harder for me to get behind. Ooh, new perspectives in Poineer could be fun. Temur Rockerick. Ooh, Rockerick's such a powerful card. We played Rockerick for budget Magic, and even in a budget deck, like if you untap with Rockerick, it just goes off. This looks like a sweet build. Coiling Oracle's cute. I do love Coiling Oracle. One of the better Panharmonicon creatures. Yeah, that looks sweet, Knight. I like it. All right, now what? So we need to kill everything. But how? Okay, so I think what we do... Sacred Foundry, untapped. Ugh. Well, they're an Epicure. Make some dorks. Rite of Oblivion. Sack the Epicure. Opponent. Well, we're getting our grind on. I assume our opponent counters it, but that's fine. Yeah. So opponent gets to keep their Shacklegeist, sure, but we start getting tokens from Hidden Stockpile. And tokens beget tokens beget tokens. Invoke. Ooh, Invoke Despair. I still think there's potential. I know when we played Cabal, well, this is Cabal Stronghold. We played Cabal Coffers. Oh, this is a Poineer build. That's spicy. We played Cabal Coffers in Modern, and it did not go well, but I still think there's something there with a deck like this. Maybe I underrated Invoke Despair. I still don't know if it's insane, but it's got to be better than I gave it credit for. What do you think of the argument that if there was more companions, it would be fine? That's an argument that people have used for a long time, and I saw it come up again recently. I'm curious if there was more companions, would that fix our problems? We have a new donation from regular Bugman, $3.33. Kind of want to try breaking into Poineer. I've had a second card draw idea since Eldraine Standard, and I wonder if it might be a decent deck built around Improbable Alliance, Ironclad Pyromancer, Yoriel. Ever try something like that? I haven't tried it outside of Standard. I remember playing it in Standard, and it was really sweet. That could be a fun one to try in Pioneer. I will say, here's the selling point for Pioneer. If you're thinking about playing Pioneer, but you're on the fence, here's the selling point. Out of all the formats in Magic, including arena-only formats like Historic, Pioneer is, in my opinion, the format where you can most easily play your old standard decks. I mean, we played Gates and did well with Gates. We posted a winning record with a budget Gates deck, which was very much a standard deck. It's kind of what Historic was supposed to be for Arena. This place where your deck rotates, you still want to play your cards. That's what Pioneer is. It's kind of what Modern used to be years ago before it got so big and had so many sets and supplemental products. That's the selling point. That, along with the format not being too expensive to get into, that is why I think you should play the Pioneer format, honestly. We have another new donation, McIntyre $5 donation. Seth, in the history of Magic, going all the way back to the Power 9, how many cards could get a 3-mana sorcery speed tax on them and still be modern playable, let alone ban worthy? 0? maybe 0. Honestly, I think there's a real argument that Lurrus is the most powerful card ever made. Oko, Black Lotus. I think there's a real argument that before the nerfings, it was the most powerful card ever printed. I don't know, what's the counter argument? I mean, if that sounds off the wall, like, what's the counter argument? I mean, Skullclamp's good, but it doesn't start in your hand every game. To be fair, Companion doesn't start your hand, so it's a 3-minute attack on it, and you can't interact with it before turn 3. Additionally, each had what was supposed to be a significant restriction, plus weren't multiple Stoneclode unplayable. So, history of Companions. I know starting your hand is not technically correct. It's just really clunky to be like, well, it starts in the exile zone, but you can play it at any time as if it was in your hand, but it dodges discard. Like, that's a lot to say every time you talk about it. So for me, starts in your hand is just like, I know that's not technically how it works, but it's a close enough shortcut that I hope people understand what I'm saying and I don't have to say 500 words every time I mention it. As far as the original ones being bad, I don't think that's really true. There was a couple that were bad. Lutri was bad. Did Gentleman SC and Tier, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Lutri was bad. Every other one was, I think, good pre-nerf. Like remember they made these originally, so it really was even more like starting in your hand. But there were decks. Yumari also would probably be lower tier, but like Garuda was showing up in Legacy. Lurrus banned in Vintage and Legacy. Yarion still sees play everywhere. Abash still sees play in Modern, even post-nerf. Kahira still sees play in Modern and Historic or whatever, even post-nerf. What am I missing? Yeah, I guess Lutri was part of the Tainted Pack deck, which is also true. And it did get preemptively banned. What people don't understand is that you have access to the card every game, so you can warp your deck around it. Very, very true, Jonathan. That is a really good point. How do we do this? All right, we play Synthesizer. Sorry, opponent. We're ranting about cats. Our poor opponents used 1 minute off their clock, and I've used 8. Zerda is still banned in Legacy. That was a really strong combo piece. I'll play the land. Go to combat. Attack with the servo. Jengatha still sees play. So really, Lutri's probably the worst, and that was pre-banned in EDH and did see play with the Tainted Pack combo deck in Historic. Yumori, maybe Yumori's the worst. Maybe that's even worse than... Let's sack this to Scry. We want to sack something. Oh, gotta pay more attention to tapping mana. I'm getting distracted. We should not have tapped our red source so we could leave up the Volt Surge. Ooh, we'll see if they flash something in and punish us. That was a slight mistake, distracted mistake. Karuga saw a lot of play in fires. Like in standard fires, Karuga was legit top tier, right? In the fires deck, from what I remember. Yumori, I've seen Yumori show up. There was like a Yumori mutate deck. So it does show up on occasion, but it was never like a top tier card from what I remember. So maybe Yumori's even worse than All right, opponent gets in, hits us. Maybe Amari's even worse than Lutri. At least Lutri did see eventually some tier play. Well, untap. Ooh, Anointed Procession. Can we afford to get it down? We need to be able to kill something. We also need to be able to trigger it. Well, I mean, I think we're going to go for it. Play this on red. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anointed Procession. Double trouble. Do you have a counter? Okay. Go to combat. Attack you. Opponent takes it. Are we gonna die if we... Are we gonna die if we tap out? Maybe. How bad is it? Yes. Do I think Wizards could have got away with banning Lurrus only as a companion? I'm honestly not 100% sure why they didn't do that, other than complexity. That would be the only reason I could see, is Wizards just... But at the same time, like... yeah, if you want the deck list, exclamation point deck will get it for you. The only argument I could see against just banning as a companion, when it has 3 cards, you know what? Yeah, I know what, we're gonna tap out. What's the worst that can happen? Discard the land, sack the blood, Den of the Bugbear, pass the turn, make our tokens. Opponent's gonna draw. Sure. Well, all right, that's 3 tokens. Can we stop the flyers? The only thing I could see is they were worried about the complexity, although at the same time, companions already don't play as written. They already have been errataed. So in the case of companions in specific, maybe there's not that much of a cost to the complexity thing. Well, opponent hits us to 9. Gonna be close. What can we find? Castle Ardenvale for even more tokens. Did I fill out the arena survey? Yeah, there was actually... How many of you got the arena survey? Was just watching the worst card in Magic video. I got Divine Intervention banned in charity EDH event. That game store no longer allows that card in any other events. Really, do you? I actually like Divine Intervention. I actually like that one. All right, we got to kill something, or attempt to. So additional cost. Sack a synthesizer to draw a card. Go after the Shacklegeist. Oh, we're making a lot of tokens. Is it enough? Ooh, Anvil. That's spicy. Well, play the Anvil. Ooh, okay. Maybe. Red, black, Anvil. Resolves. Go to combat. Attack you with the dorks. Oh, we're gonna make some tokens. Opponent takes it. Anvil. Sack a servo. Make a bunch of servos. Den of the Bugbear. Pass the turn. Is it enough? What do they have? Please don't lord us about it. Okay, Spectral Sailor. Sure. Untaps. Oh, we gotta play faster. We're gonna time out. Do I have any decks in paper? I have I have like 4 commander decks, and I have Mono Red Prison for modern, although it's a little bit outdated now. It was before Simeon Spear Guide got banned. Yeah, Karavek would be deadly for us. I don't think we beat Karavek. Opponent hits us to 6. We untap. Well, Deadly Dispute's not the worst. So go to combat. Hit you with everything. Opponent drops to 7. We will Deadly Dispute. Sack a Servo to draw some cards. Trigger the Anvil. It's a big massacre. Wait, does that win us the game? I think it does if it resolves. Okay, Castle Anvil. 1, 2, 3. Meat Hook Massacre. X1. And you got counter? You got a counter? You got counter spirits? Oh my god, desperation draw. Desperation draw. Desperation draw. Meat hook. Meatball in the stack. Resolves. Oh, got him. So good. So good. Yes. Oh, Tanos for the 46th month. Welcome to the Bitch Ball. Thank you so much for your... See, Anointed Procession, sweet. It's really sweet. Why no Dragon's Bark Reactor? I'm worried that it's a little slow. Maybe it's fast enough for Poineer. I like it in Standard a lot. The 4 mana to actually activate it though is a little scary. Yeah, the problem with Ragavan in Blood Moon Prison decks is mostly you want to play Chalice of the Void. At least I always want to play Chalice of the Void. And you lose out on that. But it still could be worth it. You could make it work. Yeah, that's the other thing. Shrapnel Blast just offers a lot of damage. What would you suggest for a Drake Tribal on a budget? Wait, how do you build Drake Tribal? Are there enough Drakes in... What is a payoff? What is it? Let me look at this. All right. Are there actually enough Drakes? I've never built Drake Tribal. Can you build a Drake Tribal deck? Drake Haven's sweet in a cycling deck. Gilded Drake. Gonna cost you a bit, but... All right, so I guess there are. There's not really a Drake Lord, though, is there? I mean, so I guess it would be like... Mono blue, or is it most likely? Probably the most competitive way would be to play like a mono blue flyer style deck with like favorable wins and whatnot. That might be a way to go. Maybe favorable wins is the payoff. Could also go just like Enigma Drake. We've had decks in the past with Enigma Drake and Crackling Drake and just a ton of spells. I don't know if that would count as... Yeah, we got to play a little faster. I don't know if that would count as Drake Tribal just because... What else are we cutting? We got to cut one more of something. Yeah, we'll go on Epic here. But yeah, I don't know if it counted as a Drake Tribal just because you don't really have that many creatures in the deck. So if you need a critical mass of creatures, it might not do it. But, ooh. 1 land, 2 Terrarions. Oh, I think we got to mulligan that. Yeah, all right, that's fine. No black mana is awkward, but hopefully we can find it. All right, bad Sacred Foundry to the bottom. We got all the combo pieces if we can actually resolve them. Yeah, there's a black mana. Well, Den of the Bugbear and Epicure. Get that blood token. Go. I've run it in Historic, probably better because of Treasure Cruise. Wait, you ran what in Historic? I love the idea of Grixis Crackling Drake with the demonic card that exiles their dude. Yeah, that's a really cute idea. I've heard the idea before. I've never actually played it, but the idea is really cute. You know, playing the land. Play the Anvil. Go to combat. Attack our opponent. Well, this might be another game that's mostly about resolving a meat hook massacre. Opponent. Thundercrap. Oh my god. Raven? Is that just Raven? Is that just Raven with weird spelling? Is that one of those weird magic words? Or is that a real thing? Oh boy. Mausoleum Wandertron. It's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. Down to 15 opponent passes. There's our Anointed Procession. Now Sacred Foundry. Oh, this is sketchy. Untapped. Hidden Stockpile. Here comes the counter. A null? That's a card. That's a card that people play. I'll attack you. A null, eh? I was not expecting to get annulled, I will admit. I'll own it down to 17. Sack the dork. We wanted the hidden stockpile. Pig you. Pass the turn. Ravens are two-legged dragons. See, I gotta play more D&D apparently. I don't know all the D&D lore about it. I don't know if... Do you really think Anointed Processions win more in this deck? I mean, even if it is, I do like winning more. But I feel like... So when we've played decks kind of like this in the past... Oh, they're going to tap down. Oh my goodness, we just need the black manas. When we've played decks like this in the past... Oh, he fired up the Summoning Sick one. My feeling had been there wasn't a finisher. They needed an actual finisher to close out the game. Well, Deadly Dispute. Sack the Epicure. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh no. Oh no, oh no. We did not. Who draw land? That's real bad. I'll hit ya. Are we gonna die with 2 meatballs in hand and no way to cast them? Epicure. Sack the token, pig ya. The machine is running, but can we stop the flyers? Oh, we really just wanted to meat hook massacre there. The meat hook massacre would have been so good. We would have wiped out all of the Mausoleum Wanderers. The problem is if they ever play spirits, these things get big. They get big fast. Yeah, next turn we might be able to cast it, but it would have been so much better while our opponent was tapped down. Now we're susceptible to counters. Opponent gets in, hits us. Down to 9. Passes. Another Anvil. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Yeah, but our opponent was tapped out last turn. That was the beauty of last turn, is our opponent was finally tapped out. Well, go to combat, attack. We probably still got to go for it because I feel like we're just dying anyway. Opponent. Are we about to get annulled? We might be about to get annulled. Opponent. Blocks. I'll sack it. Draw some cards. Still no lands. Well, it's meatball time. We don't really have a choice. 1, 2, 3. Please do not annul us, opponent. Wow, and still no lands. Meatball? Resolves. Flash Spirit. Okay. Wow, we're good. We're good. We're good. It resolved. I did not expect that to resolve. All right, pass the turn. Not dead yet. Opponent gets drained. Well, we're back in business. Back in business. Opponent. Wow, they could have won. If they cast that, they had us. Like, if our opponent cast that, they pump their whole team and save them all from the meatball, and we get so wrecked. Thankfully, they didn't do that. Wow, I don't know why they didn't do that, but we will take it. We are not going to complain. Opponent hits us for a bunch, probably better known as 6. Last card, Sheckelgeist. All right, opponent passes. Well, there's the black manas. Well, I think we just got a meatball again. Meatball to get rid of the flyers. X2. Yeah. Clear the board. Drain you, drain you. Are we going to win this? I think we might be winning this. Anvil, sack the blood token, get the engine running. Ping you. Give us a blocker, pass the turn. Oh, yeah, our opponent definitely punted. Oh, let me see, Doug. $50 budget Niv Mizzet Perud. Ooh, Niv Mizzet is a really good budget commander, I think. Ooh, let me see, Knight. Another deck list. This is the best modern deck I built, I think, although I'm not sold on the cards yet. Ooh. Opponent goes attacking. Yeah, let's just block, I think. Do we block? You know what? We'll take it this turn. It gets so much better if we have one more turn. All right, Urborg. Here comes the lance. Play Urborg. Play Anvil. Number 2, go to combat. Attack you with a dork. Opponent goes to 7. Sack the dork. Drain you, ping you, ping. Anvil's insane. It's so good. Make a 1/1. Make a 1/1. Drain you, ping you. Opponent down to 5. Pass the turn. Do we have plans for No More Legend rule streams? Wait, what is No More Legends rule? Oh, for Mirror Box? So we played Mirror Box for Get Sods on the YouTube, but I'm sure we'll do more with it because that card's just so sweet. One of my favorite cards from Kamigawa, for sure. Yeah, I think if our opponent flashed in that Rattle Chains, we were super dead. super dead. The Niv Mizzet deck looks good, Doug. I think that's one of the commanders that can be built very competitively for just $50. Like, because Niv is just such a strong commander. Like, if you untap with it in a bunch of spells, it doesn't really matter if they're cheap spells, but just untap with it a bunch of cantrips and you're probably going to win. All right, opponent's passing. Okay. Well, we untap. Pathway A. Pathway on red. Go to combat. Can we close out the game? I hope so. Go attacking. Opponent. They gotta block both or they're dead. But we have the Braid that can kill something. All right, there's Faceless Haven. Sure. So now we abrade the Ascendant Spirit. And profit and win. Yes. So opponent blocks, we sack what they block. This looks like Xaxes. It's working. It's working. Oh. All right, opponent has a Spectral Sailor. All right, that does keep our opponent alive, I think. Just barely. Because I thought we had lethal this way. Hey, what's up, Max J? How are you? Yeah, I thought we had lethal without having to spend all of our mana on Bugbear. Opponent blocks. Blocks. Well, sack this. Make some dorks. Yeah, opponent's gonna live. They're gonna live at 1. I mean, this is fine, though. Now we just untap in our... Wait, are they still dead? I think they're still dead. Just kidding. Just kidding. All this doesn't actually matter. Opponent is still actually dead. I'm doing wonderfully now that the cat's gone. The Boggles deck looks sweet, Knight. I think that Boggles is another really, really solid budget. Well, this isn't actually a budget build, but I think it's a sweet archetype. We played Light Paws for Budget Magic this week, a free build on Magic Online. Light Paws is crazy. Like, when you untap with a Light Paws, I honestly think it's better than SRAM, for sure. And I think it's better than Core Spirit Dancer. Like, I was thinking this was a nice backup to SRAMs and Light Paws, or SRAMs and Core Spirit Dancers. But now I actually think that Light Paws might just be the best. It might be the best of the 2-mana aura payoffs. I feel like every time I've ever untapped with it, I just win. Or my opponent has removal and I brutally lose, but it's never not good enough. It's always good enough if it lives. Oh boy, you're a dirty Boggles player, Knight. Boggles, I don't mind playing Boggles now and then. When Boggles was like a legit top tier deck in Modern, oh my god. It was like the ultimate jank out deck. And it was probably partly the decks that we'd play. We'd play like budget decks and just not have Lilianas or whatever. And oh my goodness, just get so... But that's the thing about Boggles. Boggles, when your opponent untaps and they go turn 1 like Temple Garden Slippery Boggle, you kind of look at your deck list and you either look at it and you're like, okay, whatever, no problem, you're dead because you have the right pieces to deal with it. Or you look at your deck list and you think, oh, it's not happening. There's no chance. There's no chance. No matter what I do, it doesn't matter. I don't have a chance. And even worse, you pull up your sideboard and look through it and you're like, okay, do I have an Edict? Do I have a Liliana? No. All right, well, even in game 2 and game 3, like, I guess our hope is, then you're at the, I hope they just mulligan because there's not that many hexproof creatures, so I hope they just mulligan into oblivion and you win that way. But that is my experience playing against Boggles in basically every format. It is a sweet budget archetype though. Oh, Leyline is even, yeah, if you have that, add the Leyline to the mix for protection, there's no coming back. This deck's actually kind of working. So what do we think about Anointed Procession? Are you still in the win more camp, or are we in the busted legit awesome camp? Companions. I thought the cat was banned. Let's play Epic here. For some reason, I know Kahira's not that good, but for some reason Kahira bothers me, maybe more than all the other companions, because it's not used as intended. That's what really, really, really drives me crazy about it, is it's not used the way that the Magic gods intended it to be used. And I think that it actually like highlights the problems with Companion, like, because Wizards wanted to make it verifiable or whatever, they couldn't really put a restriction of like, you need to have at least 20 creatures of these creature types or something. So to make it a little cleaner, make it verifiable, is just each creature. But then the only way Kahira, or the primary way that Kahira sees play, not the only way, because it does sometimes see play in elemental decks, but the main way it sees play is just like, oh, I'm a creature free control deck. Might as well throw it in there. And then all this text doesn't actually mean anything. But yeah, anyway, why no Pharisis in Light Paws? Ooh, I mean, so the Light Paws build that we played was mono white, but I could see Pharisis being a sweet option. I mean, maybe you don't even need to be able to cast it, but I could see it being a sweet finishing option. Is essentially like a double strike aura that gets around life gain. Well, let's Let's synthesizer, see what we hit. Hopefully not a 2-mana combo piece. Fatal Push. Well, I'm glad we're not drawing that. Urborg. Terrarion. Ew. Well, we got rid of the Fatal Push that we didn't want to draw. Are there any 3-mana auras in black-white that work well in Poineer? Ooh, 3-mana Poineer auras. You know what? Let's look at them. I'm actually curious. So I assume you were playing Poineer Lightpaws, but now Lurrus is gone. So now you actually get to make decisions. Isn't it wonderful? I mean, this kind of stuff is what makes me so happy to have Lurrus gone, is we're asking these questions. We're able to brew and build our decks. That's what is so sweet. Also, shout out to Moto has a pretty solid deck builder. So we can just do this filtering, boom, 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 3 mana in a matter of a couple seconds, auras in Poineer. So what do we got? What do we got that's actually sweet that we would consider playing? I guess I need to enchant creature, probably. So Demonic Embrace is nice. Demonic Embrace, cast it from the graveyard, a nice way to restart if your big threat gets killed. And flying is really good with Lightpaws, so you can get over blocker. So that's what I'd be looking at. Someone in chat mentioned it. I could see Battle Mastery being a sweet one of. Battle Mastery, just double strike, is a finisher, essentially. If you can cast the Demonic Embrace and then tutor up your one of Battle Mastery, you probably just win on the spot. The game is probably just over. I think those are probably the two biggest ones. Cartouche of Ambition's kind of interesting. Removal for small creatures that also +1/+1 in lifelinks. Oh, Gift of Orzhova. Gift of Orzhova is another really good one. This one used to see play in Boggle style decks. It's been a minute, but maybe Poineer Boggles or Auras is where it can be there. Another way to give evasion with flying and lifelink. That's another one that I would consider for, Demonic Embrace, Gift of Orzhova, and Battle Mastery are the 3 that stand out to me the most. Sorry, opponent. Untap. Meatball Massacre. Well, go to combat. Attack our opponent. Gonna need to find some of our engine pieces at some point. Sacred Foundry, untapped. Stop on our opponent's upkeep. Now they're gonna cycle. All right, well, we're just gonna do this now then. Deadly Dispute, sack Terrarion, draw a bunch of cards. All right, well, Anointed Procession, here it comes. Steel of the Godhead is good, but it's not in Poineer. So if you're working in Poineer in specific, it's not great, but it is a really good aura. That's one that used to be used with Geist of St. Traft, like Zur. Ooh, I wonder if Geist of St. Traft can see play now. So here's a question for you, chat. 3 drops are unbanned, thanks to Lurrus being gone. What do you want to play that's 3 mana? What's Bear up to? Oh, Bear is having the time of his life today. So usually in the afternoons, especially when I have a stream, he goes and does puppy playtime with a friend. But his little puppy friend hurt his leg and had to go to the vet and hasn't been able to play for like the last almost a week. So Bear has been going crazy, not being able to do puppy playtime. But today he's back to puppy playtime today, so he was super excited to actually get to go do some puppy stuff. Oh, so I'm still planning on getting another. We haven't talked about this recently, so I need to get another dog, chat. I need your help with this. Ooh, Liliana's a good one. Kaya's a good one. Seasoned Pyromancer. We saw Ranger Captain of Eos was a card that spiked. We actually see some of these cards spiking in price because of, I presume, the unbannings in just the last day. If you look at like the movers and shakers page, we see like Liliana on the upswing. That makes sense. Ranger Captain of Eos, that's another one. The Shadow deck's definitely going to want this, but you just going to play it because, unfortunately, costs 3 mana and you got to play 3 drops. So that one's back in the conversation as well. Seasoned Pyromancer on the list. That's another one that goes way up in value. So I think those cards benefit a ton. A big win for Modern Horizons 1. Ooh, Abbas Death Shadow. I haven't seen that. That sounds really sweet. How do we do this? So opponent 2 mana could still have counters. I'll go to combat, attack you. We probably just play the Anvil this turn, I guess, is probably the best bet. Although I really want the Anointed Procession. That's what I want. You know what? Let's go for Anointed Procession. I think we can. Let's do it. What's the worst that can happen? Anointed Procession. Opponent. Oh, veto. So they're playing real counters. Boo. After Monday's announcement, it could be said that all 3 or 4 drops have been unbanned in Modern. It really feels that way. I was recording a Modern video for Much of Brew this morning, and it's just really sweet to be able to see all those old 3 drops be back in action finally. Well, let's play Oni-Cult Anvil. They're probably just going to counter everything we try to do. Opponent accidentally makes a bunch of black mana, untaps. All right, here comes counter number 40. Opponent's definitely crimming. Well, makeshift mutations. Pathway on red. Hit you for 1. Well, we'll see. We're fighting in Klon, but our opponent's just countering everything. Is Alchemy unpopular? Alchemy is actually like shockingly unpopular. What do you think, Kraufa? Is it? Do you think Yarian's gonna take over? As of yesterday, Yarian was 8% of the meta. Do you think that? Oh, they're playing Field of Ruin? That actually kind of gets us. Do you think that... Oh, this is a strip mine, isn't it? Oh my god, that's so bad. Do you think that we're going to see a rise up to Lurrus levels? I mean, I've always been in the... Companions are the problem camp where... Alright, opponent has... some removal, where I would personally be verified with just watching the entire mechanic go away. Just get rid of the whole thing, be done with it. But I don't think Wizards is ever going to do that. The one thing I like about Yarian is it doesn't have the restricting aspect that Lurrus does. Like, maybe the thing I dislike the most about Lurrus is that Lurrus just keeps so many cards out of the format. We were talking about 3 drops, 4 drops being unbanned. Like, if you play Lurrus, it just pushes so much stuff out of the format. At least Yarian makes you play more cards, so it doesn't necessarily just keep so many sweet cards from seeing any play at all. So I think that's like an upside, maybe. Hey, thank you, Venlo. Welcome to this. Is this another counter? Come on now. To Foobolt. You would think with Bolt in the name, they'd be trying to burn us rather than just countering all of our spells. Ugh, another Absorb. Now, Blood Crypt. Tapped. Hit you for 1. Well, this would be easier if we could have resolved a spell. That is the biggest downside of Lurrus is, or of Yarian, is it does make the prices of Modern go way up. All right, to Fairy. Well, in theory, this Rite of Oblivion is going to save us. If our opponent has counter number 4, then life is pretty bad. Opponent. I mean, I guess we could try to cast it twice, but that's pretty painful. Opponent gonna untap some counter mana. Anointed Procession. It's the truth. Actually, we're 2-0. Whether or not it's actually the truth remains to be seen, but we've been anointing processioning people, and it's been pretty sweet. Well, we gotta kill the Teferi, that's for sure. Attempt to. Rite of Oblivion. Teferi. Sack the synth. Oh, Fatal Push. Well, at least Fatal Push is gone. It is no longer in our hand. We just haven't been able to stick any engine pieces, though. Like, I think we're losing this. Because if the game goes super long and we don't have any engine pieces and we just have a million lands, whatever. Like, we get a token out of it. That's not the end of the world. Pass the turn. Boat at 2 cards. Hey, what's up, Affinity Squirtle? I'm doing great. How are you? How did I find MTG? Oh, I found MTG back in college, thanks to my roommate at the time. Used to play and then got a bunch of cards, brought him over from, I think, his mom's basement type situation, and that's how I ended up learning, starting to play and learning to play. Opponent considers. Ooh, let me see, B-Dizzle. How do you feel about Historic these days? Also, we haven't talked about this. Did you all see the stats? I don't know if you listened to the podcast that came out yesterday. I just feel really bad now. If your mid-range deck, your opponent reveals Yarion, you're already down a card before the game begins. I mean, that's why the companion mechanic is one of the worst ever. Like, that's the mechanic, like, isn't it? Isn't it just like exactly what companion was for some reason designed to do? Like, it definitely feels bad, but isn't red black a better version than this Mardu one? But Anointed Procession is white. I mean, it could very well be better, but it doesn't have it's not as anointed or proceeding. What colors were your first deck? The first deck I ever built. So the cards we had at the time, this was around when Ravnica came out, but the cards that we had were Mirrodin, mostly Mirrodin, original Mirrodin block cards, and I love the artifact theme, and I love the... Okay, we're getting pretty close to the scoop time. I love the artifact theme. The first deck I ever built was... well, we're going to sack this. I mean, I think we're just going to concede here in a minute and hope to bring in some discard. Hidden stock. You know what? We're just going to... I don't want to do this for another hour. We're going to game number two. The first deck I built was a Eon Storm charge counter deck. It was, I think, mono red artifacts essentially, but the idea was to put charge counters on things and then remove them to Eon Storm, this horrible enchantment that lets you pay to remove a counter from something to shock 2 damage to something. My deck was so bad. It was so bad, but it was super fun. Hey, welcome, T Siddons. It got me addicted. Are we playing Historic right now? We're not playing Historic, but this deck actually is historically legal. Like, you could play it in Historic. Are we going to bring in Necromenches? That's probably... Well, how much do we have to go down? Fatal Push is bad. Bad. Is Necromenching a Planeswalker worth it? My first deck was Horseshoe Crab Hermetic Studies combo deck back in 1999. Oh, that was before my time, but I got to relive the glory of Horseshoe Crab in, oh no, what format was it? Eternal Masters, maybe? One of the Master sets had Horseshoe Crab combos, and I definitely remember doing that. I also agree that Lurrus is getting either banned or they're going to change it or something, errata it. I think the only reason they didn't do it yet is the tournament coming up, honestly. We were talking about this a little bit earlier. But I would be shocked if they didn't do something to it in Historic. But they're not banning cards in Historic anymore, though, right? It feels like their goal is not to ban cards and just errata them. Or maybe they ban them in... Yeah, because they have the Players Champion or Set Championship this weekend. So I think they're going to ban it like a week or two after that. What do you think about just erasing the companion text? Like, that's kind of my my preferred solution. Like, because I think that Lurrus as a main deck card is fine. It might actually be a fun main deck card. I think you just erase the companion text and let it exist as a real Magic card rather than, the weird companion thing. I think that's my preferred solution for Historic. Do you think they should have just, well, I mean, I would like to see all companions banned. Like, I think that I made a video on YouTube. You can still find it. It's from a year or two ago now, right after companions came out. But I still believe that it's like the biggest design mistake mechanic they've ever made. Like, and nothing has changed my mind in the years since. Like, I still stand by it. I still think it's a pretty big mistake. All right, well, go 1/1s. But what do you think about just getting rid of companion as a mechanic and letting the companions live as actual cards? And also, what do you think about the argument? I mentioned this earlier, but we didn't get into it. What do you think about the argument that we're gonna try this? Hopefully we get white mana. What do you think about the argument that they just need to print more companions? That if there were 100 companions or 1,000 companions rather than 10 of them, I think it's the Mr. Burns, the Mr. Burns virus thing. Like, if you just make 1,000,000 of them, they're all gonna fight each other and get stuck in the door, and somehow Modern and Poineer will survive. I assume that's the reasoning for it, but I mean, to me that doesn't make sense. To me, then I don't know about adding more of a broken thing being the solution to broken things. That reasoning seems a little odd to me. Narset, March of Otherworldly Light. Well, we're taking Narset. Tag the Narset past the turn. They can't kill it all, hopefully. Opponent. Yeah, I guess that would be kind of literally Commander, wouldn't it? Opponent passes. White mana? No, Den of the Bugbear. Well, Den of the Bugbear and Oni-Cult Anvil. Yeah. All right, we need something to sack to get the party started. About it. I think more companions are good, but just ban the broken ones. They're messed up. Yeah, I mean, that's the issue, right? Like, if you apparently beat my deck. Apparently Twitch's auto mod just banned beat my deck. Apparently thought it was some sort of a innuendo affinity to Squirtle. It has been approved now. I think my first deck was mono white weenie. Oh, that's probably why. I didn't read the first part of it. No wonder you actually you triggered Twitch's auto mod. I can see why they might be confused. My first deck was mono white weenie deck. All I remember about it was my friends would trade around 2 copies of Anger of God so they could beat my deck. Opponent passes. When I talked about RD when I talked to RD 2 weeks ago, I proposed Companion Errata, Away, Amulet, Banhammer. They told me they don't want to try doing prediction bans to prevent a future meta. Huh. That strikes me as odd. Because if you read the ban announcement for... I mean, maybe it's slightly different, but I was thinking if you read the ban announcement for them banning Lurrus... Oh, no! For them banning Lurrus in Pioneer, they pretty much said, like, this is going to be a problem in the future. Like, maybe it's not a problem yet. That's how it came across to me, is like, it's not a problem yet, but we know the play rate's going to keep increasing and it's going to be a problem in the future, so we might as well just ban it now. Hey, what's up, Schneck Dubins? How are you? Good to see you. Was the person the one that came up with companions? I'm pretty sure it was Mark Rosewater who came up with companions. I still don't understand. Why do you think they printed them? That is true. They are privy to cards coming out. Although there's nothing you can print that's going to make Lurrus not be a problem. I don't know. I definitely am on board with something from Amulet potentially being a problem. I feel like Primeval Titan or the Primeval Titan decks have been floating around like just below the surface of what's bannable and what's a problem for quite a while now. So yeah, I could certainly see an argument for going after them. Hammer, like, is Hammer a problem? Has it just gotten to the point where it's really just too good? Kind of a shame because I love Hammer Time's like one of my pet decks. I love Hammer Time, but I loved it most when it was a tier 3 jank deck that no one except me cared about. When it became the best deck in the format, I mean, I still like it, but not quite the same now that it's one of the best decks in the format. Do we keep this? It is a decent Planeswalker answer. We know our opponent's killing some. We're going to bottom for now. Let's go bottom, pass the turn. Make some dorks. Opponent. Killing the Anvil. Well, we can tag it to itself. Ping you. All right, well, do your worst, opponent. Control opponent. Does Hammer get significantly weaker? I'm not sure that it... I'm not sure that it does. Most of the companions were fine. It's when the deck building restriction imposed is so easy that it was not a restriction, or when it encourages a really unhealthy play pattern. Most of the companions don't do this, but it's the reason why the Otter was pre-banned in Commander. So roast beef sandwich, I think that is true now. Although the way they originally printed them, I don't know if I agree that that was true. Like, the way they originally printed them, they were pretty much all just busted. They were all just super, super busted. So we know they got a counter. Well, go to combat. We're not going to fire up Den of the Bugbear yet. Go to combat, hit ya. I mean, I guess we're just sacking and scrying and doing this forever. We want to get down the Anointed Procession, but we don't have a window to do it. Sack to scry. Terrarion to the bottom. Play the land. Get back our dork. Pass the turn. Another one. Oh, March of Otherworldly Light's so good in Pioneer. I feel like March of Otherworldly Light in Pioneer is like a format-defining card similar to Prismatic Omen in Modern. Like, I think it is on that level. Yeah, Pioneer's great. I really, really, really have been enjoying Pioneer. I find the metagame fun. And the prices are a lot lower than Modern. I mean, I also still love Modern. Modern's still my number one overall favorite format. But yeah, I think Pioneer's in a really, really, really solid spot right now. Yeah, I mean, March has been seeing play in Modern as well. Is it up to 27 ticks? I just gotta buy everything when a set releases. I feel like if you buy everything on Moto on draft weekend, and just wait for some cards to become heavily plated in Modern or Pioneer or Legacy, seems like you're going to come out ahead. Opponent's going to bounce the Den of the Bugbear with Ottawa. Oh, we get to replay it. Opponent's been doing a good job of just annoying us this game. Killing our stuff. We're just drawing all lands, not really getting traction. I play Vintage, but I want to venture into other formats, so I'm considering Pioneer. I mean, I think the Pioneer is a good starting point. I also would recommend Modern. The only problem with Modern, and maybe this isn't a problem for you if you already play Vintage, maybe you just have all the cards you need. The only downside of Modern is the cost, really. Well, play the Anvil. Let's see if this resolves. We know there's a counter, so most likely no. All right, there's the Absorb. Well, land on black. Anointed. One of these days we're gonna make a token, and our opponent is gonna be in trouble because there's gonna be 2 tokens. Hit ya. Even the Den of the Bugbear, that makes tokens. 2 tokens with Anointed Procession. Hey Seth, is Human Tribal a competitive deck in Pioneer? If so, what are the best colors? So Human Tribal has been kind of like a tier 2-ish deck for a while now. Lately, there's been a trend towards people going like 4 or 5 colors because of the new... Wow, they actually got full value out of that. Because of the new 5-color land from Kamigawa. Kroxa A. Well, Kroxa U. Unfortunately, we can't get it back yet. Triggers makes you discard. Veto down. I think this makes us fire up the Den of the Bugbear just so we can get a card in our graveyard for Kroxa next turn. Well, Den of the Bugbear. Go to combat. Here we come, here we come. Secluded Courtyard. Yeah, really? Your last card is another removal spell. Is this another March? Oh my god. All right. And that means it doesn't even go in the graveyard. Opponent, opponent, opponent. You are... All right. Well then. Can we stop drawing lands and draw some action? Yeah, triple marches. Keeping our opponent in the... No. Oh, getting the dirty cat companion. Opponent passing. Well, this works. Thought sees you. Oh, that's big because it gets a card in our graveyard. We will take the Azorius Charm. Red, red, black, black. We will Kroxa. Oh, sideboard Kroxa. Looking pretty good. All right, Kroxa returns, get rid of the Kahira. Now our opponent's on a pretty short clock. They're going to have to draw their way out of this in the near future. Go to combat. Attack you. What band card do you miss most? For me personally, it's Simian Spirit Guide. I love Mono Red Prison. I know it did degenerate things that were not healthy, and I'm not saying that it didn't need to be banned or whatever. Like, all that stuff is fine and probably true. But for me personally, that's the card I miss the most. Well, go to combat, attack you, hit you. These Sunset Revelries have been kind of insane for our opponent as well. Like, I think our opponent would be dead if they hadn't kept drawing these Sunset Revelries one after another opponent on taps. And Pod was a sweet one. Opponent passes. Oh, thankfully. Okay, we finally get to do Anointed Procession things. Thought sees you. Take the veto. Hidden Stockpile. Okay, the engine is about to be running. Hidden Stockpile. Go to combat. Attack, attack. Okay, this should be good. This should be good. Pod was a super sweet deck. Is there a place we can recommend against the odds deck? The new Kiki Saga with Time Stream Navigator seems fun if slow. Ooh. Well, you can always suggest them on stream or email them to me, saffronolive at mtggoldfish.com. Well, 2 blood tokens probably fine. Sure. Keep the Epicure, make a token. Opponent's gonna scry. It better be a good one. It better be a good one, opponent, or you were dead. What do you think about this? Oh, let me see, Thingham. Oh, I missed your sub? My apologies. Affinity to Squared. Oh, I did. For this 7th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. 2 to the bottom. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks for the always positive contest. 7 months it flew by. Sorry for setting off your autobot. No, I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious. So opponent gets a way to make a token to kind of stay alive. Opponent is fighting and clawing. Just Just as a control player should, I guess. Get in, hit ya. Opponent goes to 4. They can make a token and chump and go to 2. And then hope to draw, I guess, a Wrath? I think Death Shadow is too good because of Dragon Rage Channel and Ragavan. It's more consistent, irritating. I don't ever think I'll beat that deck no matter what I play. I've definitely had decks that have felt like that. You just feel like you never beat. Currently, I feel like I never beat Light Pause Auras. I just feel like I never, no matter what I'm playing, no matter what, like it's not going to work out. And even when I feel like I can beat them, like there's a game when it's like, oh, I got 3 fatal pushes or something. They always draw the 4th Light Pause or whatever. Like, I just feel like I can never beat those decks. Deadly Dispute's not bad. Little late because our opponent's pretty much just dying here, but opponent untaps, needs the top deck of the century. Is it the top deck of the set? No. You actually, okay, redraw. Needs a second top deck of the century. And scopes it up. Take that, control. Whenever I hear about like something like Death Shadow being too good or whatever, I feel like it goes back to Modern Horizons 2, essentially. Like that's kind of the that's the issue. Like, is it that, yeah, the deck could be too good. I can see arguments for that. But when it comes down to it, is it, Death Shadow that's the problem, or is it Modern Horizons 2 stuff? Do they run Farewell? Oh my god, I hope not. If they do, that is probably a farewell to our chances of winning. That is an aptly named card. Do you have a list of jank cards that you want to brew around? So I don't really have a physical list. I've never written out like a physical list of jank cards. I definitely have a kind of like running list in my head, especially when a new set comes out. I'll have an idea of like, okay, I want to try to do like this with that or this with that and play this in that format and so forth. So I do have kind of a running list like that, but I don't have a physical list. Was wondering your thoughts about would Ingenious Smith and Emery in a Cheerios list in Modern. Wait, what is Emery? Oh, also, I forgot to mention this. Oh, Emery, I know what you mean. Emery Lurker of the Lock. Yeah. That could, in a Cheerios list. Yeah, I mean, I think that could have potential. Tomorrow, by the way, chat, there is a Commander Clash live episode, bonus Commander Clash live stream over on the Commander YouTube. I'm playing with Tomer and Richard and Daniel Holt, I think it is, from Wizards. Hey, what's up, Ella Frog? So if you're looking for something to do tomorrow, that'll be on the Commander YouTube, streaming live. Same time that we stream today, 2 Eastern time. Well, I think we just run it back. I don't really know Daniel. I think, does anyone know what Daniel does? I want to say art or like flavor, something along design, something along those lines. I don't really know Daniel. I just, Tomer asked me about, I think Tomer knows Daniel and asked me about doing the Commander Clash live, but I don't actually know the details of what Daniel does, what Daniel does. But I know he works for Wizards in some form. Ooh. We're going to keep this. We're going to trust that these Voldaren Epicures are going to take down the evil Teferis. Opponent. Tap land. Come on, lands. Well, Thoughtseize. Untap land. Epicure go. Opponent. Daniel, he works at WotC, big hand in design of Neo, and he was at the pre-release with Loading, Running, Run. Oh, sweet. That should be fun. I'm playing oh, that's not a land. Uh-oh. Oh, God. The magic. Oh, boy, this is not a way to beat a control deck. They say that Mana Flood beats Mana Screw, but I think Teferi beats Mana Screw. I'm concerned. I was trusting that these blood tokens were going to save us, but only Gavin gets the counterbalance treatment. Okay, there's a land. No, play the land. Thought sees you. Opponent has a counter, of course. Well, Epicure. Number 2. Hit you for 1. Boy, this deck is playing so many counters. I'm gonna play Kadama tomorrow, I think. Oh, he did the showcase frames. That's sweet. Another Thoughtseize. Well, go to combat. Attack you. Oh, I really don't want the fairy to come down. Well, okay. Thoughtseize you. Really? Wandering Emperor. Well, that's also bad. Oh, this is like a super friends list. All right, we'll take the Elspeth. Well, we will sack the blood token. Discard an Anvil. See if we can hit a land. Please. Please. Okay, that's a land. We're getting closer. Very, very slowly getting closer. Opponent gonna make a dork. Untaps. But now though, yeah, the new Kadama. It's another Kamigawa themed episode. Hey Seth, what are your general rules about streaming other people's decks? For example, if I wanted to stream your free plow list or the light plow list, is it okay to do it with credit? Trying to start streaming, always curious. For me personally, I make decks because I love Magic and I want people to play them. So, if you want to give me credit, that's nice. But if I make a deck, I make it because I hope people will like it enough to want to play it. So, even if you did not credit me, I would still be fine with it. But yes, please, please, please. If there's a deck I make that you like, please play it. Oh geez. Oh geez. Oh geez. Huh. This one land, one keep plan is becoming problematic as we continue to not hit our land drops and our opponent goes off with Plains Lakas. Yes, you're always free to steal my decks. And improve them even. The only thing I ask is, if you steal one of my decks and you make it better, let me know so I can also make the upgrades. The Commander Clash Live is 2 o'clock tomorrow, 2 Eastern. Same time as today's stream, roughly. Starting at the same time. Do you think green-white light pause will be good in Poineer? I haven't seen green-white. I've seen red-white be really good. But it's Wandering Emperor is just going off. We're just straight up losing to the beatdowns here, and we just cannot really stop it. Oh, this is so... I mean, the problem is our opponent's got twice the amount of resources as we do, twice the amount of lands. March other... Oh, wait. Opponent. And we don't have creature removal, so this is just going to win the game. Opponent taps all their mana for no reason. Oh, you built a plow deck? Yeah, the plow deck's really fun. I mean, it's really cheap. Opponent. Oh, come on now. Well, we've been to ferried. Yeah, this is a tough one. Brutal. Well, Crimmer's gonna crim. If there's one thing we know, we draw a nice tapped land. Yeah, we're super dead. There's no hope. Hey, there's all the lands. Unfortunately, they're still super late. We killed Teferi, but we're still dying. We don't kill Teferi, we're dying. All of this ends with us dying. Yeah, right. Oh, we needed it our land sooner, unfortunately. What is your favorite deck you've played or seen in K&D? What is K&D? Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. What is my favorite? We played some sweet decks. The Mind Link mech deck was really fun. That one was a really sweet one. The Shrines deck went way better than I thought it would. Yeah, our opponent top decking that Teferi. Teferi is a card that if you can't immediately deal with it, it just wins. There's not even much of a sense in continuing to keep playing. Have you made a Tatsunari deck for Kamigawa? Tatsunari is a card that I have not really built around yet. Burning Bush, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Yeah, the Mr. Plow deck was another one that would be on my short list of favorite Kamigawa decks. Card-wise, probably Mirror Box. Mirror Box is just, I love Mirror Box. Such a fun card. We're about due for another Mirror Box deck. Have you tried to brew Satsuki the Living Lore in Commander? I built the deck and it felt great comboing with Fall with Rand in the Many of Dominaria. That's one that I haven't built around yet. Yeah, we'll keep this. Hey, good game, Tiffabolt. You're silly Teferis. Good game. What about Reality Chip? Any plans for that card in a deck? Reality Chip. So Reality Chip's been. Well, let me see, Thingham. Reality Chip has been a tricky card for me to figure out. So on one hand, ooh, yeah, that looks sweet. I like it. What about the? I can't think of the name of it now. The 2-mana green enchantment that when you target your thing, you get to draw a card. Season of Growth. I wonder if Season of Growth could be worth considering. It's like a backup. I mean, I guess you got Setessan Champion, but which is kind of the backup Enchantress effect or payoff. Yeah, that looks sweet. I think looks like a good package of enchantments. Unflinching Courage is a nice payoff for being green-white, I think. Wait, is this our turn? All right, opponent's passing. Do I think Black-White Super Friends is playable or a bit too slow? I mean, it's... Well, I guess we're shocking ourselves a bit here. Yeah, untapped. Terrarion, go. I think Black-White Super Friends is... So are we talking standard? I think the Black-White mid-range deck is really good. I don't know if that counts as Super Friends. So the problem I've run into with Reality Chip is it's kind of just Future Sight. It's when it comes down to it, even if you do everything that you're trying to do, it ends up basically just being Future Sight. So I keep getting stuck with, if I want to do this and build a deck around it, why would I not just play Future Sight essentially? So that's kind of been my challenge with that card. And I haven't found the answer of it. The best I've come up with is like yeah, actually I posted a tweet earlier today, Double Hog, asking people what format they'd rather see a deck in, and everyone voted Poineer. But the deck is like 100% Poineer legal. I think you can literally just run this. I actually have the deck built with a slightly different sideboard on Arena, because I was thinking we might try it in Historic too if we had the time. Well, get on the Stockpile. Next turn we can start getting value out of it with the Terrarion. This is probably a Greasefang deck, I guess. I'm assuming. Yeah, Sigarda's 8 is the best that I'd come up with to actually make a deck that felt like Reality Chip mattered and did something unique and different. Oh, so many March of Otherworldly Lights. Maybe March of Otherworldly Light is a argument against playing this deck. That's been brutal. Well, we did good when we were playing against not endless control decks. Well, we get to play an Epic here. But now that we're playing against control twice in a row, things have been a little tougher. I mean, it's been close, but Castle Ardenvale, no, about it. Yeah, March Otherworldly like kind of busted. Opponent. Oh, we're missing. Yeah, I guess we're missing Urborg. That's true. We do have a 1 of Urborg. Where's Lurrus? Well, what's a Lurrus? I don't even know what card is that? I don't know what you're talking about. About it. There's for knowledge. They're definitely the Grease Fang. This is the deck that we played on Much Brew a few weeks ago now, or something very similar to it, I think. About it. Oh, I'm so glad Lurrus is gone. Are we going to play Modern? I don't know if we'll play Modern today. That's probably unlikely, but there's definitely Modern on the way. We will definitely be playing Modern. I mean, we can play Modern for Thursday stream, if that's something. What do you want to see in Modern? So I know Modern's coming up for multiple videos on the YouTube, but is there something in specific you'd really like to see? So Lurrus is gone. Is there a specific deck that you would be excited to check out in Modern? Draft? Oni-Cult Anvil, sack an artifact. Well, that's fine. Like, we got to be able to kill the Grease Fang if it comes down with the Fatal Push. So we get to play the Anvil. Go to combat. Hit you with the Epicure. I mean, we got a bunch of ley lines in the sideboard, which is sweet. Hit ya. Sack the Terrarion, draw a card. Make a dork. Ping ya. Ooh, there's Anointed Procession too. All right, there's our finisher. It has arrived. Hey, what's up, Luke? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Death and Taxes, as per Stoneblade. Psychogenic Probe. Psychogenic Probe's a good against the odds deck. 8 whack. Boomer Jund. Boomer Jund is coming. It's coming. I promise. I don't know if we'll play it on stream Thursday, but if you want to see Boomer Jund, you'll see Boomer Jund this week in one way or another. I promise. Ponza could be fun. I do enjoy Ponza. Bold Warrior Heavy Rates Mystic Reflection combo? Wait. What does that even do? Karn the Great Creator. Huh. That's actually super obnoxious for our deck, isn't it? Uh-huh. And that means we can't kill a Grease Fang? Oh, no. Oh, no, oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah. That's a card. That's bad. Bad news. All right. Artifacts offline. Opponent. Yeah, this is really good against us. Now we got to find a hidden stockpile, maybe. Ticks up to eat our blood token. Oh, I think our opponent's just setting up for a Grease Fang kill that we can't really easily stop. Oh, that actually kind of helps. Makeshift munitions. That's actually huge. That's not an artifact. So our opponent can't Karn it. Go to combat. Hit the card. That is not the worst straw. Karn. Down to 4. Sack. Synthesizer. Ping the card. Make a token. Draw a Meat Hook Massacre that doesn't do much. All right, pass the turn. Do your worst about it. Do your worst. Eric V-Bad. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. How's Ponza going, Mad Jaw? Well, let's plan on doing some Modern on Thursday. And Jund is a coming. It's a coming. Opponent. Portable Hole. So annoying. Okay. Well, we will ping the Karn. Sacking. I guess. How do we get rid of this Karn? Is it even possible? Can we ever get rid of it? We can sack the Anvil, but then we don't have the Anvil for next turn, which is a bummer. Our opponent just keeps, this card. I don't know what we do here. I'm really worried about getting hit by the Greasefang combo. So I feel like we got to value leaving mana up. I mean, having a meat hook on the battlefield is fine, but if our opponent just Greasefang Parhelions, we lose on the spot. If we sack a construct, though, it doesn't really do anything because this construct can damage Karn next turn anyway. So I guess we just let it go. The question is, do we sack the Anvil? We can sack the Anvil, which makes it so we can get rid of the Karn, but then we don't have the Anvil to do our Anointed Procession stuff. I guess it's still worth it. Like, we really need to get the Karn off the battlefield. Yeah, but we need to, the Fatal Push we need to trigger Revolt to kill a Greasefang, which is hard with the Karn. That's one of the big reasons this Karn is a problem, especially with the mutations. We'd have a way to trigger Revolt to kill the Greasefang to avoid dying to a Parhelion. Oh, I guess we do have a ton of Anvils in the deck. All right, we're gonna sack the Anvil. I don't feel excited about this, but I think this Karn is just ruining our day. So ping the card. Opponent. Jeez. All right. It's a brave verdict. The card will never die. Ah! All right. Ticks up the card. Karn is apparently really good against our deck. I don't know if we can beat a Karn. We draw a land. Does not do much. Well, Anointed Procession. And Sundown Pass, and yeah, well, at least it's not an artifact. You need to play this deck in Modern. Let me see. What are you working on, Rooker? That is one of the wilder decks that I think I've ever seen. I'm gonna have to finds a pithing needle to name Castle Ardenvale. Life keeps getting worse by the second. About it. Yes, Karn just beat us straight up on its own. We draw more useless Magic the Gathering land cards past the turn. Yeah, that's tough. That is a tough one. Opponent. Thirst for Knowledge, discards Parhelion, plays a Greasefang. This is something, Rooker. Cast a Hunted Wumpus. When it comes into play, each other player may put a creature card from a hand on the battlefield. Or Boldwire Heavyweights. When it comes into play, each opponent may search their library for a card. With a Mystic Reflection foretold, layer turning their creatures into copies of that creature, giving you a free Emrakul. Wait. I'm so confused. What is this deck trying to do? Mystic Reflection. Choose target non-legendary creature. The next time one or more creatures or planeswalkers enter the battlefield this turn, they enter as copies of the chosen creature. So the idea is, so is the hope of this deck to play, wait, am I understanding this? Hey, see you, Rooker. I'm so confused. Yeah, this deck is wild. So his idea that you play like a Haunted Wumpus. And then when your opponent goes to put with the trigger on the stack, you target it, and then, or wait until they cast a creature, you target it. So your opponent's going to have a copy of that, and then you put Emrakul into play. There's Forbidden Orchard. Okay, so you can force your opponent. That makes more. I was wondering, like, how do you actually force your opponent to do it? The Forbidden Orchard. Okay, that's what I needed to keep reading. I didn't get to the Forbidden Orchard part. That is wild. I love the idea. That seems like a hilarious against the odds deck. If you could make it work just once, it would be worth a lot of losses to. Oh no, it would be worth a lot of losses to see it happen because that's just a absolutely hilarious idea. Yeah, Orchard makes a lot of sense. I mean, the downside is you do have to play. Like, what if your opponent has an Emrakul? I mean, hopefully they don't. But if you play like heavyweights, your opponent would also get the Emrakul, right? Risky business. Opponent taking up this brutal Karn. It seems like planeswalkers have been an issue. Planeswalkers, or maybe our run. Oh, I mean, our running hasn't helped. Like we've drawn every Magic the Gathering land card. I'm certain there would be a lot of losses, but it's quite the payoff. Yeah, it'd be super funny to see it work. Rhythm. So try to give it haste. Yeah. I love the brewing. I love the brewing idea, Rugger. That is pretty funny. There's a Sky Sovereign. Opponent gets to use artifacts. Cheating, I say. Wow, we've drawn a land a lot of turns in a row. I mean, this one is technically a creature, not that it really matters, because this game is super over. But that's been a lot of turns in a row that we've just drawn a land card. I made an easier deck to cheat out an Emrakul, mono blue using Fold into Ether. Ooh, is that the counter that lets you put a thing into play? That's another really sweet card. I've never actually seen that work. Yeah, our opponent seems prepared for our deck. Wow. This is just the worst running possible. All right, game two. Game number 2. Well, Karn is an issue. We have a million answers to it, but I guess it was Karn plus Wrath plus every other bad thing. Ha. How do we stop our opponent's pile? That is the question. Mi'kmaq Massacre, pretty much a dead card. The other thing is we do need to not die to their combo. Like, Leyline of the Void helps, but it's not a guarantee. As we saw, our opponent has answers to everything thanks to March Otherworldly Dreams. Makeshift Munitions was, we were so close. Our opponent just had all the answers. Have you ever made an arena deck with the Momir card? Yeah, we played a Momir deck right after it came out. It was pretty funny when it worked. You never know. The variants, you just never know what's gonna happen. But it was definitely fun. Like, it was very interesting to play just because you never know. You never know what'll appear from your Momir. Huh, well, apparently Control's on the rise, because, woo, 2 in a row. I don't even know what to cut. The problem is if we cut all of our removal, then we just lose to their combo. Like, our opponent's essentially a combo control deck. I think is probably the right way to think of it, is combo control. The problem is we have all these synergy pieces that we really don't want to cut because they're important to our deck doing cool things. But I guess we're just going to have to, like, trim some stuff we don't really want to trim to have any shot in this matchup. Oh, I think we drew half of our lands that game. We had like 10 of our 22 lands. Hey, what's up, Bulldog? How are you? Good to see you. What's the matter with Possibility Storm? I mean, it's been a minute since I played it, but I'm curious. What is the actual bug? I don't think I've actually seen it. Last time I played it actually worked. I tried it years ago when Modern first came out with all these have to attack cards. It was so funny. Wait, you tried what? All right, we get to play first. All right. The lands are very tapped, but we'll give this a try. Yeah, Possibility Storm is pretty funny. If you have a chance, can you look at my list that I sent? Would be great. Want to play it at F&M? Yeah, let me see, Fuzzy Wuzzy. All right, so opponent doing some mulliganing. God Pharaoh's Gift. Ooh. That looks sweet. So the one thing I would say is... I would be a little bit concerned about the Gate to the Afterlife plan with only 16 creatures. Needing 6 of 16 in the graveyard means to get this turned on, you're probably going to have to mill pretty close to half your deck. So I think that you might need a few more creatures, but I think the idea is sweet. Jin Gataxia is really sweet, really sweet target for God Pharaoh's Gift you can get on the battlefield. Another possibility would be to go with the Refurbish plan. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If you're going to go with a more creature-light build, then Refurbish might just be better than Gate to the Afterlife. But really, other than that issue, the deck looks sweet. Like, you got good removal, you got a good graveyard filling plan, you got ways to find the combo pieces, you got a good finish. So, I mean, that would be my only little quibble. Otherwise, I could see that deck getting some wins. Got to dodge graveyard hate, but there's a lot of decks that got to dodge the graveyard hate. Hey, what's up, Red Zone Gaming? Good to see ya. Is Anvil busted in draft? Yeah, I guess if you can't kill it, it probably just wins. Opponent. This is, well, we will play Epicure. And Castle Ardenvale and pass the turn. I play Blue-White God Pharaoh's Gift in Historic, and it's fun. Yeah, I've always liked God Pharaoh's Gift decks. Played them in Standard, played them in Historic. I feel like we've played some in Modern, too. We've definitely done Modern, like, budget magics for featuring God Pharaoh's Gift. Oh, Thoughtseize. Where's our black mana? Well, go to combat attack. Black mana would be pretty helpful. Opponent. Gonna take the 1. Well, sack the blood token. Discard a Right to Oblivion. Land? No. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Terrarion. Pass the turn. If we could have mixed our two hands together, our all land and the no land, we'd be in business against this control deck. What do you think about, I mentioned this on Twitter, I'm curious what you think. Yeah, it's kind of, hopefully, one-shot sort of black mana. We really need to get some lands that make black mana. Opponents, all about those pathways. I don't know about this heavy pathway plan in a 3-color deck. Not a land. All right. Terrarion, sack it. Add black. Add red. Do we draw land? No. Leyline of the Void. Jeez, I don't even know. Oh, so bad. So bad. Well, Crocs, I guess. Opponent. Yeah, that's the problem with Terrarion, is it only works once, and now we're right back to where we started, which is in a really bad spot. This might actually be a negative, because we could let our opponent discard Parhelion. But, I mean, I don't think we're winning unless we draw lands either way, so it probably doesn't matter too much. So opponent discards a Faithful Mending. Boom, hit you for 1. Yeah, I feel like if Dispute gets countered, we're just so dead. But I guess we're so dead anyway, so maybe we should just cast it. But, like, our only... I don't even know. I don't know how we get back into it at this point. Opponent. Silence and Thirst for Knowledge. And... Opponent. Passing. Well, our out is our opponent not doing anything for several to many turns until we actually draw a hand that allows us to play Magic. Opponent Faithful Mending. And opponent. So what do you think about trying to play through like every deck in a format? I think it would be interesting. That's something I've been thinking about. So you think just going for the dispute? I feel like we have to have this dispute resolved though. I feel like if the dispute, like that's our, jeez, deck. Well, get in and hit ya. Sure, discard the hand size. That's the turd. What do you think of having a community stream where you play decks submitted by viewers? That could be a fun idea. Well, no, it'd be over the course of. Oh, gee. Ooh, all right, opponent. Karn. Well, this is the opposite problem in last game. Our opponent's doing exactly what they want to be doing. We are having the opposite issue. So I think it'd be over the course of several streams or videos. There's no way we can play every deck in a format in his stream. It would be over the course of like a series, a recurring series of some kind. Opponent gets a Tormod script. Plays a Tormod script. Do we draw land? Yeah, the Croxa showcase art is sweet. Okay, we drew a land. It's a little, well, actually a very incredibly large amount late to the party, but it is a land Magic the Gathering card. We will hit your Karn. Then we will, I guess, deadly dispute the Epic here to see if we can draw more lands. Perhaps. Opponent. You should bring back. Okay, well, there they all are. And then we Volt Surge to kill the Karn. And then we Thoughtseize to take your something. So that was a pretty good turn. Whether or not it is in time remains to be seen. Oh, Greasefang. Oh, and our opponent's got counters and answers. What do we do about this? Ha. Ha 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 ha. I don't know what to take here. So Stubborn and Nile's fine. These three are all really good. They don't have anything to go with the Greasefang yet. I'm tempted to take the Thirst for Knowledge. The March. You know what? I think we're just going to take Thirst. Our opponent doesn't have anything in the graveyard for Greasefang, so hopefully this is fine. They're probably going to have to sack this Tormod script because they don't want us to get back the Croxa, but we got another one that eventually could come back on, so we'll see. We'll see about it. Yeah, the Thirst is pretty frightening. Opponent runs out Greasefang. Yep. And Think and pass it. Well, we need answers. Okay, now here is, oh boy. Magic is such a weird game. The order in which the cards came up of our deck were just so not beneficial for us this game. Well, Leyline of the Void, you. We drew all the non-lands, and then we couldn't do anything for like 10 turns, and now we've drawn all the lands. About it, undaps. Faithful Mending. Is it the Greasefang Dream? Are we dead? Caladion, we are. That's a Parhelion. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. Can't do much about that. Caladion, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup tier for you. Thank you. Oh, what am I getting punted for? I'm so confused. What gets countered? I mean, doesn't our opponent Greasefang Parhelion us? Why did you cast into the Stubborn Denial? Oh, instead of playing something else? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If we play anything else, it doesn't really do anything. I mean, we could have Croxud, but then that lets them discard a Parhelan if they drew it, and it doesn't really do anything. We can play Oni-Cult Anvil, but it doesn't do anything. I mean, if we cast a bunch of Anvils, don't they still just Parhelion us? Like, if we don't play late, so we cast late lane, they countered it, they untap, they Parhelion, and they win. If we cast 2 Anvils, then don't they just Greasefang, Parhelion, and they win? I'm confused. I'm confused how any of our decisions get around Greasefang, Parhelion, I win. regardless of what we do. Like, doesn't it end with that? Blood Crypt Adept, and we'll do an epic. Is this control for the 3rd time in a row? Huh. Well, maybe Poineer would know when No-Lurrus is just okay, spirits for the 2nd time. Interesting. Wow, this has been the bluest league I've ever played. We've played four some form of blue control decks, I believe. Well, we will play a land on black, play the Anvil. Go to combat attack. Well, we'll see what our opponent has and if we can resolve anything. Opponent's off to the fast Spirit Star, and they got protection. Sag the blood token, make a dork. This makeshift munitions could be really good if we can get it down in time. Teverax, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super tier for you. Thank you. Pioneer's like 20% control. Whew. Our league has been a higher percentage, I would say. Opponent has the Lord. This is looking bad. This is a very fast Spirit Star. Opponent passes. So we can try to kill the Lord, but it's just gonna die. Is there any way out of this? Like, even if we try to kill it, they just sack this and that protects everything. Huh. What is the pathway out? Is there a pathway out? So we don't get to attack. We can Volt Surge. Go after them, Empyrean Eagle. Sack the Construct. Opponent going to sack to save it, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, land untapped down to 11. Makeshift mutations past the turn. And oh, well, that actually was a pun. I honestly didn't realize this card exiled. and that would have been a better line, you're right. For some reason, yeah, I just didn't realize it exiled. I will accept the punt for that one. Shackle guys for our opponent. I mean, we did get rid of the Selfless Spirit, which is okay. Oh, so close. So Rite of Oblivion. Actually, can we attack? Is there any? This has 3 toughness, though. We're a mana short from meat hooking. Broccoli Watt is definitely hilarious. One of my favorite jank infomercials. Well, Rite of Oblivion. Make a token. Go to combat. Attack. Hit ya. I mean, the question's going to be, oh, can we get this meat hook to let us survive past the turn? Opponent, only 2 cards in hand. They are a collecting company build by look. About it. Goes to combat. going to attack us. Sure, we will shoot down your dork, sacking Epicure. Collecting company. Yeah. What do they find? Well, the question is, can they grow their stuff? Oh, the answer is yes. Yes, yes, yes. So we need to draw an untapped non-shock land. And then I guess we got a shot. Opponent. Well, if they have collected company, we have a better chance if they cast it during their main phase than if they do on our end step. Because our one pathway to winning is that we can sweep the board with Meat Hook Massacre. So if our opponent has, we obviously would prefer they don't have collected company, because no matter what, it's going to be bad. But if they do have collected company, I think that our best hope is getting them to cast it during their turn, and then hoping that we can hard sweep the board, and then we actually have a shot at winning the game. But this is gonna, because we're okay, we need to draw land. Basically, we can use the Anvil to gain a life for a shock land. We just need to draw land. All right, Anvil. Sack it. I mean, that's what we needed. So see, if our opponent did not collect a company, then they just let us wrath with Meat Hook Massacre, Coco end step, and then we almost certainly die. All right, so we got a sack. We go up to 3 and down to 1. Yeah, the life gain from the Anvil coming in hot. We're still gonna need to draw some stuff to get back in this, but this gives us a chance. Well, X3, Meat Hook Massacre. Sweep the board. Oh, gain some life. Get back a token. Maybe the comeback. Maybe the comeback. We get a 2-2. We pass the turn. Hey, see you, Dogman. Thanks for hanging out. Have a wonderful afternoon. Opponent. All right. That's a threat. Empyrean Eagle. That's not the worst. Synthesizer. Oh, Anvil. This is only a 2-2. Oh, I think we can wait a turn. This feels so greedy, but play the Anvil. Sack the Synthesizer. Draw a card. Make some dorks. Gain a life. All right, it's a land. Play the land. Pass the turn. Wow. There's hope. There's hope. There's hope in Anvilville about it. Adabs. Another Coco I'm very scared of. That would get us so good about it. Yeah, the life gain from Anvils is relevant. An opponent is down to 11 thanks to their own painful mana base. Yeah, there was an argument for casting it last turn, but another Lord. Okay. We're definitely going to have to cast it this turn. Opponent gets in, hits us. Sure. Down to 3. Shackle Geist. Well, we got to sack one now. Can we stay alive? Drawing a removal spell would be the most helpful. Opponent passes. Land. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So we hit our opponent for 3. This is close. This is super close. So we sack this. So we sack this, kill this. Drain our opponent. Is there a way we can win here is the question. We can't attack before sacking something. Because we got to get rid of the Supreme Phantom. So opponent's at 8. We hit him for 2, 7, 6. This dying hits him from 1 down to 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're one point of damage short. Yeah, but we can't attack in... What if we... So if we right away an Anvil, that's even less damage. Like, well, I know we have right. Like, we have right. The question is there a way we can win here? That's what I'm trying to figure out, if there's a way... If there's a way this is lethal. So we obviously... We can kill the Supreme Phantom, sacking the Construct token. That drains our opponent for 1, down to 7. That lets us attack with the Illusion... Hit our opponent for 2, down to 5. We get 2 tokens for Anvil that we can sack. 4, 3 with Meat Hook Massacre, 2, 1 with Meat Hook Massacre. But we're still 1. Swing out, they might not block. Is that worse in the long run? Oh, if they don't block, then we have lethal. Yeah. Yeah, Shackle Geist can't, but this can. The problem is if we swing out, then they can block the Illusion. And if they block the Illusion, that's a blowout. Because we can't even sack it, and then we lose 2 damage. Well, I don't think they can kill us, though, right? Because we're going to gain... All right, I think we just try to win in 2 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to put our opponent to 1 and trust that we win next turn. So we kill Supreme Phantom. Or exile, rather. Supreme Phantom. Sack the Construct. Drain you, trigger the Anvils. Oh, if we had 1 more mana, we could have got... We could have got out of the Anointed Procession. All right, opponent's going to tap down our Illusion. So we're at 4. Oh, actually, does this not actually work? Because they tapped us down? It kind of does now, doesn't it? So now what do we do? Sack 1 of them? The problem is we need the tokens to regenerate next turn, or we don't have an artifact to sacrifice. Yeah, they definitely block the 2-2. I can't imagine they don't block the 2-2. I guess it's all moot because they can just tap it down. But we have to sack 1. Drain you, drain you. Pass the turn. Oh no. Oh no, this went disastrously. Oh, yeah, I guess we can sack the Anvils to themselves. Well, I guess we just gotta sack them both then and just... yeah. Yeah, okay. I mean, this is what we got. You go to 3. Pass the turn. About it. Please don't kill us. We're dead to a 3rd lord, 4th lord, whatever it would be. Coco would be a disaster. Wow, this game was so close. Opponent. Hey, what's up, DMKs? How are you? Opponent plays a tap land, goes to combat. Attacks us. I think we're good. Wow, I think we got there. Opponent passes. Anointed Procession. We don't need it. So Anvil, second Anvil. Actually, wait, is this lethal? Exacxy lethal? Play Anointed Procession. Opponent has a counter out of cards. We don't need mana for anything, right? I mean, we win or lose, right? None of this actually matters. None of this is relevant to the outcome of this game. 1, 1, 2. Sure, whatever. All right, Anvil, second Anvil. I think this just exactly works. Trigger, ping, get a token. We need the token because we got to trigger this Meat Hook Massacre. Second token. Wow. Emerald Blazer, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super chat for you. Wow, that was so close. Oh, good news is that was inevitable thanks to tapping of the spirit. That's also true. They could have tapped it down at any time. That was a really close game. How are you, Blazer? With 15 monocolor shrines, do you think there's a precedent for 2 or 3 color shrine decks? I mean, I think you could definitely build one. So each color has 3 shrines right now. I think, yeah, that was so grindy. So I think the interesting aspect is, what are we cutting? That is the real question. Maybe 1 hidden stockpile and hey, let's go on Terrarion. So I think the most exciting way to build that is probably to build it with Mirror Box. I think that would be super fun. If you played like 3 color shrines and played 3 or 4 copies of the good shrines, and you had Mirror Box to have all of them, that would be really sweet. It could potentially be pretty good. So I think that is maybe the direction that I would head is Mirror Box, like 3 color shrines, but I think it's definitely possible. Probably have to be historic or modern, just because you need to get the OG Kamigawa cycle that isn't in Pioneer or Standard or whatever. About it. Mausoleum Wonder. Well, Hive of the... Actually, let's just Sundown Pasco. About it. Doesn't that sound like it'd be a fun deck? We gotta try building it sometimes. I don't know if it'd be a very competitive deck, but it seems like it'd be super fun. About it. Double Mausoleum Wonder. Gets in, hits us. Well, Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Makeshift Munitions. Those munitions could be decent. Snipey Snipe. Please not a Lord. Landlord would be bad. Otherwise, the one of fun of Makeshift Munitions gonna do some serious snipage, I think. About it. Passes. Well, we will play a Terrarion. And play a Tapland. Pass the turn. About it. Yeah, we can Meat Hook in the future. Okay, there's a Flash Spirit, so we will snipe down Mausoleum Wonder. Yeah, that's the other risk, is the Flash Spirit. This Spirit opponent seems to know about flashing in their spirits to bump their Mausoleum Wanders. How does multiple Ren and 6... Okay, here's a question for you, chat. Opponent scoops it up. All right, that was close. What do we learn about this deck? And I think it was decent. And I think Anointed Procession was decent. We finished with the grindiest ever 3-2. But the deck felt pretty reasonable. I mean, the deck's fun. I gotta say, I greatly prefer being able to play Anointed Procession to feeling locked into playing something like No-Lurrus. Like, that's just so much better. It's so much sweet to have choices, to be able to play Leyline of the Void, to be able to play Anointed Procession. Like, it's just freeing. It feels so freeing. Well, let's open our treasure chest. We got a treasure chest. 1 of 1. Gold Knight Castigator. This card. It was never very good. I remember it being a little bit hyped when it was spoiled. I think I saw like the fringiest amount of play in Standard, just like the littlest, tiniest amount of play. But yeah, never, even with the biggest butt. Although, if you can make the mana work, this would be a hilarious threat in a Doran deck. It's in the wrong colors. Red is like the least popular color for butt style decks. But if you did a butt style deck and could somehow support a double red card, this coming down with haste as a 9/9 with a Doran out is like ridiculous. Imagine that curve. When a Mana Dork Doran this Game. How do you beat it? So not a valuable chest, but I forgot about that card. So that is a Pioneer version of this card. I kind of feel like let's try a game. Let's try a game or two in Historic. We probably want to do a whole. Oh my god! Avert your eyes. Full desktop. Let's try a game or two in Historic and see what happens. Card seems like should have been on the Worst Rares podcast. But it's a mythic. Technically, it's a mythic. So what Planeswalker is sweetest to have multiple copies of with Mirror Box? That's what I was trying to ask. Hey, what's up, Jeez? How are you? We're getting there. No, we're not full yet. We got a couple of columns still. The desktop is not a folder. Mine kind of is. Flip Kytheon, Chandra. I mean, getting into the trials is an easy answer. I've always wondered if people would watch a Civ stream. I've always wondered, because I do enjoy playing Civ. It feels like it'd be such a slow game to stream. So this deck is exactly the same. The difference is the mana base is slightly changed, mostly with Phyrexian Tower replacing Urborg, and the sideboard is very slightly different, not because the cards aren't legal, just because of metagame differences between Historic and Pioneer, but otherwise, it is exactly the same card. Exactly. Would you actually watch a Civ stream? I mean, I think Gideon is an easy choice. I think multiple Gideon of the trials is probably power level wise is probably the best, just because you unlock so easily. I know I got to do a Storybook Brawl stream at some point in the somewhat near future, because I have a bunch of codes that was given to me to give away. So at some point we got to do Storybook Brawl stream and hand out codes. Getting in the trials, Mirror Box, Boros extra turn spells. Ooh, yeah, that does sound fun. Jay's memory depth, you'd mill someone out really fast. Oh, boo. Getting Helm of the Host. Ooh, you can have multiple Helm of the Host, too. So what do you think, Jack? Do you think this deck just straight up level of competitiveness? Do you think that this deck would be better in Pioneer or Historic? Oh my god, the mountain. Well, I guess we epicure. Get the fun started. I've played against Saffron Elephant Storybook Brawl. Was that you? Yes. I am Saffron Elephant Storybook Brawl. So if you played again, I assume they only let each name go to one person. So, yeah. Oh, no. So I'm pretty sure that you played against me. Well, play a land. Play a Schwamp, go to combat, hit you with the Epicure. We need some engine pieces. Opponent seems to be Niven. Think it'd be better in Historic? I was actually thinking it'd be worse in Historic. Even though that might sound counterintuitive, but for one thing, Lurrus is still legal in Historic. So that's one downvote. And I feel like oddly, because of all the extra cards that they've added into Historic, the Historic actually has a much more, I don't know if powerful is the right word, faster, more busted meta than Pioneer. Like, I think Pioneer is a fairer format when it comes down to it. Like, the speed of the games and so forth, I think is actually a little bit slower, because Historic actually has so many cards from outside of standard sets that have been added to it over the years and the decades. Well, let's play Hidden Stockpile. Opponent. Are you Mana-Tithing me? No. Wow, Vanishing Verse on the Epic here. Okay. Well, I mean, that is legal. We get a servo. Pass the turn. Pioneer doesn't have imaginary guards. Yeah, that is one way to put it. But yes, they don't have digital only cards. Well, we will kill this. Sack Terrarion. Draw a card. Out of here, Terra. Oh, there it is. That's what we were looking for. Play a tap land. Anointed. Procession. Incoming. Hit ya. Opponent. We get a servo. Can you beat the servos? Niv. Oh, they have the mana for the Niv. Okay, so the answer is yes. The answer is yes, they can. Opponent. Oh, yeah, I got to switch. Hang on. Boom. Fixed it. Had to switch over to the arena setting. Oh, now nothing we do matters, does it? Well, that's annoying. Draw a couple cards. Oh, draw a couple lands, I mean. Many. Oh, no. Oh, no, oh, no. Well, Anointed Procession. Sack it. Double those tokens. We'll keep the Deadly Dispute. Yeah, I don't know how we undo this Niv, though. How have you been, Tanos? Opponent? Yeah. Gonna make us sad with their Vanishing Verses. Maybe Vanishing Verse has more ways, or maybe Historic has more ways. Like, that's... I mean, maybe it's just this matchup, but Maelstrom Pulse, multiple Vanishing Verses, like... This isn't sideboard cards. This is just our opponent... This is just all the stuff that's just chilling in our opponent's deck. Like, oh my god. Okay. Well, it's looking like Poineer's the early winner. As far as which format this is better. Because at Poineer, we actually did well. Expressive Iteration. I mean, there's only 22 lands. We've drawn most of them. Opponent. Used to combat. Hits us for 8 few million. Yeah, I mean, this is next. There's no way out of this. Been good. Keep it busy. Kitchen is finally clean. Almost finished getting organized. Shelving changes done. Ooh. Yeah, there's no... We're just too far behind to be able to get back into that one from there. Not even a little close. So, well, that was brutal. That was brutal. We got on one Fatal Push. Yeah, this is tough. Our opponent just has so many main deck answers to our what we're trying to do. Like, we might... Anointed Procession is our payoff, but against Vanishing Verse and Maelstrom Pulse, 4 of main deck, there's just... there's so little chance that it's actually going to stick long enough to matter. Isn't it weird that Historic is way more broken than Poineer when Poineer has more sets in it? Like, technically, more actual sets in it. Now, opponent doing some mulliganing. Probably... Oh, this is not a mountain, is it? It's not. All right. Fake mountain. About it. Tab land. Well, land and hidden stockpile number 1. And go. We need a way to start sacking stuff to generate tokens. I think that, like, all the anthologies and so forth are just... Overall, I think they're stronger than standard sets. Like Jumpstart Historic Horizon, so all those type of sets are... The power level is just higher than standard sets. So you get cards that wouldn't show up in standard sets. So I think as a result, the power level of Historic is just really high compared to Poineer even. It's probably closer to Modern, maybe? I mean, it's not as powerful as Modern, but... Okay, more lands. Just a few more lands. Well, Hidden Stockpile, part 20. Sacred Foundry. Boy, if we could ever find a thing to sacrifice. Whoo, we're off to the races. About it. Jengatha. Okay, that's a thing to sacrifice. Terrarion. Deadly Dispute. That works. That's what we needed. Double the tokens. Double the Hidden Stockpile. Quadruple the lands. Rite of Oblivion. Get rid of the Jengatha. Okay, that's more like it. Land on red. Go. Yes, here they come. Here comes the servos. That's 4 of them. NTZ Lightning. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Territorial Kavu. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Opponent's in trouble, though. Opponent's in trouble now. Opponent's passing. Oh, opponent's in serious trouble. Terrarion. We'll play Terrarion. Rite of Oblivion. Get rid of the Kavu. Sack the Terrarion. Get some triggers. Stack them up, stack them up. Hey, what's up, Phrasing Boom? Are you an Archer fan, I assume? Land go. Hit ya. Okay, this is where the deck feels really good. Like when we get everything stacked up like this, and we got Anointed Procession. Anointed Procession showing its worth. Like, look at the fast clock it's giving us. We actually can just win next turn with Meathook Massacre if nothing goes... Well, okay, something went a little wrong. Sack to Scry. Well, now we need a way to rebuild. Definitely do not need that. Well, sack to Scry. Come on. Come on, deck. Something that does things. Voldaire and Epicure. We'll take Epicure even. Oh, no. All right, 2 lands to the bottom. Huh, we're really good at drawing lands with this deck. About it. Tap land. Oni-Cult Anvil. I mean, I think we gotta sack it. Ping you. Triggers. Play the land. Pass the turn. Well, this time we're gonna scry 1,000,000 times if they got another sweeper. Oh, should just held on. Oh, there's the Niv. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay. How bad is it? How bad is it? Yeah, holding on to the treasure could have been worth it as a way to trigger the stockpiles. That might have been better than trying to scry for action. Opponent. Archer is pretty funny. I like Bob Burgers too, actually. Oh, just Niv things. Huh. Okay. Now go to combat. Oh, and they also have a... they also have a Lightning Helix. Yeah, the problem is Attack, Massacre, Bam. That's not going to do it, right? We have 6 tokens, so we're just short on damage. Lurrus doesn't exist, though. Lurrus doesn't exist. Not anymore, thankfully. Killing Niv requires killing all our stuff. Yeah, I'm tempted to Massacre on 0. We need to find just like a little bit more damage somehow. Go attacking. The downside is our opponent has this life gain, which is definitely a problem. Opponent goes to 8, goes to 7. Well, pass the turn. Not banned in Historic yet. Banned in Modern and Pioneer. I expect that it will... I expect it to get banned or errated or suspended and then unbanned with new tags or whatever. But I expect that to happen in Historic as well. Clothis. Ooh. Opponent hits us. Well, play a land. This, I think, actually does do it, maybe. Go to combat. Attack you. Deadly Dispute a token. Drain you. Down to 4. Are we taking down the Niv? Okay, Epicure. That's good. That's good. Epicure. Double the blood. Discard the Terrarion. I mean, I don't think they have a counter, but I'm trying to do as much as possible in case they do. Then maybe we can bait it out. Synthesizer. All right. Well, yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Me hook X1. About it. Dead? The synergies add up. Do you think that Wizards is going to create a new format on Arena instead of Poineer as they suggested? I don't know what they're going to... I actually just did a video this weekend on the YouTube about it. Wow, we dodged. Okay. I just did a video on the YouTube this weekend. I honestly don't know what to expect about Wizards in Poineer in Arena. It feels like they're trying very hard not to add Poineer. Whether or not they stick with that, I don't know. It's weird to me that they're trying so hard not to add it. From my perspective, what I see is Wizards actually, I don't know if you read the ban announcement. And this ban announcement was actually like kind of encouraging in a weird way. About Poineer. If you read the Poineer section, it's interesting. So Poineer, Lurrus getting banned, blah, blah, blah. Skip over the first part. Lurrus doesn't see that much play, but it's going to keep growing. Our philosophy for Poineer is to create the most compelling sandbox built of recent standard formats. As Poineer continues to grow over time, then incentive of non-rotating formats will pick up and choose the most effective cards from the release. Be more pronounced. Lurrus will only serve as to accelerate the process, blah, 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 blah. But this goal of Poineer to be a compelling sandbox of recent standard formats, I think that's a really good goal, and that's also how I want Poineer to be. I want Poineer to be the place that you can play your old standard decks and revisit those cards that you love from a couple of years ago. Like, I think that is Poineer's, along with being cheap and along with being fun, but I think that's one of the big purposes of Poineer, and I'm glad that Wizards recognizes that as a goal of the Poineer. Whether Wizards is trying not to add Poineer to Arena because they know that if they do, they're going to have to monetize it and probably ruin the format and take away from this goal, or if it's something else altogether, it's hard to say for sure. I really don't know. But I think there's... My fear is they either don't add the format at all and add some knockoff format that no one cares about, like anything from standard sets from Ixalan forward or something. Like, that would just be another, I think, not very popular arena-only format that people just really didn't especially care about. So that would be one bad option. The other thing that I'm worried about is they add it, but then as a result, that hastens Poineer horizons in other, direct to Poineer cards coming, which I also think would be a really bad thing for the format. Like, I think that would also represent a pretty big negative. Oh, do we gotta let this live for a turn? Well, okay, I guess we Volt Surge. Sag Terrarion. Kill the Kavu, draw a card. It would have been nice if we could have got down the Anvil first, but alright, about it. Eventually Poineer will be modern without fetches. Like, as the format gets bigger, I think that's kind of inevitable. Like, the more cards you have, the more high-powered the format becomes. Ugh, even more lands. Well, play an Anvil. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. We got all these Rite of Oblivions, but we're drawing lots of lands again. This deck feels a little flood and screw. Ugh. It feels like Flood and Screw happens kind of a lot with this deck. I don't know if it's the build. I wonder if you'd play like Faithless Looting or something. Yeah, I mean, Historic was I think serving a purpose before they added all the Alchemy cards. Have you seen the numbers on Alchemy? Like, and I know this is partly influenced by the fact that it's a new standard release and we just got a new standard set, but they publish numbers from Untapped GG about how much play Alchemy is seeing, and it is downright scary, just like how unpopular that format is. The numbers, I wonder if I can find it. It was in the podcast yesterday. The numbers are like, standard is 13 times more popular than Alchemy as far as the number of games being played. Like, it's not even in the same ballpark. So it's kind of sad that that Wizards did all this stuff and kind of like messed up Historic for a lot of people for very little reward. Like the reward was this Alchemy format that apparently no one plays outside of, I don't know who does play it. Streamers, I guess. Some amount of streamers, or they're doing a tournament for it. So I guess people gotta practice for the tournament coming up. But really strange that it just has become so unpopular so quickly. Well, I guess we meat hook because we're gonna lose it if we don't. Yeah, meat hook X0. Pass the turn. Well, if our opponent doesn't have a Niv, we're not in that bad of shape. I mean, I think that the well, that's fine. I think that that the economy is definitely a part of it. I mean, I still play Alchemy on occasion, but oh, come on. This deck. They just have every janky, weird answer that we cannot. Fatal Put. Okay, well, those are two cards that we couldn't really get much value out of anyway. More lands, of course. Well, pass the turn. Opponent untapped. You know they got a Niv in hand. I guess that Thoughtseize would have been good. You know the Niv is coming down as soon as our opponent finds land number 5. Yeah, my experience with Alchemy has been that people do, my audience, all of you, or the YouTube more specifically, really does not like it. Not even a little. The times that I've played it have been, like, some people still watch, but the amount of, like, downvotes and all that stuff is really intense. So that kind of lines up with what my experience has been. And I will be interested to see how much those numbers shift once we get further away from Kamigawa's release. Like, Kamigawa just released. So maybe, and Standard's pretty good right now, so maybe everyone's, you know, hyped in playing Standard and not playing Alchemy right now. But then when they release the new Alchemy set in a month or whatever, everyone will play Alchemy and less people will play Standard. So it's a snapshot in time, and it's during a time that is probably less than ideal for Alchemy just because of set release stuff. But still, 13 times less popular is that is a pretty shocking number. Like, I figured Standard was more popular, but I wasn't expecting it to be magnitudes more popular. If they could fix the economy, I think that would go. There's the Niv. All right, how about a bad Niv? How about a bad Niv that does not draw a new hand? Well, I mean, as far as Nivs go, I guess we can't ask for much more than that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ugh. Well, Hin Stockpile. Do we even play in Stockpile? We Hin Stockpile. Hin Stockpile. Get rid of the Niv, sack the blood, get a token. Alchemy is best when Standard is stale. I mean, that's when it is most intriguing for me as well. Like, for me, Alchemy is most intriguing when Standard's not good as another option on Arena. So I think that the set release cadence really does play into it. Like, that is relevant. Well, opponent kills our stuff. Yeah, when the game goes long, tough to beat a Niv. Just, Niv is, there's a cost being 5 mana, but, ooh, if you can cast it, it is a powerful cost. Even more lands. Somehow our deck is also drawing more lands than the Niv deck, which is probably not ideal. Standard always does get, I mean, I really like the idea of Alchemy. I feel like Alchemy has sort of become emblematic of Arena's problems. Perhaps not fairly, but I feel like that's what's happened. Like, it has become companions, even the bad ones. It's still an extra card in hand. Like, an extra card's an extra card. That's a 5/5. I feel like it's become emblematic of the problems of Arena. All right. Well, Land number 79, past the turd. But I feel like it's been an easy thing for people to complain about. Yes, it's a... All right, we gotta try one more. We gotta try one more because this matchup is just not... Most decks are not going to have 8 ways to blow up all of our artifacts and enchantments in their main deck. That's just not actually very realistic for most decks. So I think we got to do one more and see if we can get a different matchup, because that's got to be like one of the worst possible matchups just with what they got in the deck. But I feel like people can pour all of their issues with Arena onto Alchemy. And there are a lot of issues with the economy, for example, and all the other stuff, but it's a really easy thing for people to just project every problem they have with Arena onto. So I think that in some ways Arena or Alchemy gets a bit of an unfair rap. Like, I think if the economy on Arena was great and everyone loved it, and Wizards was, updating stuff regularly, and it was just everyone was feeling pretty positive about Arena, I think the Alchemy would have went fine. And I think people would have liked it. And I think people maybe still like it. I'm sure there would still be some complaints about digital only cards not existing in paper. Those are like real complaints, but I think it would have went much, much differently. But because like already one of the big conversations about Arena is it's too expensive. That's already one of the biggest conversations that's happening. And then you add in this new format that adds a bunch of digital only cards some people already don't like. And really? Oh, okay. Right into the rogues, apparently. Oni-Cult Anvil. Pass the turn. About it adapts. I regret firing up this match. Ruin Crab number 2. About it. The worst part of Alchemy to me was that I'm going to try to play my friends, and they pick broken Alchemy decks against my normal decks, and I get my butt kicked by dragons way too quick. Yeah, I mean, I could see that being pretty frustrating. All right, experimental synthesizer. Draws. Meat Massacre. Not good enough. Well, Anvil. Sack it, make a token. Draw. An Epicure that we also can't cast. Awkward. Well, land. Rite of Oblivion. Wow, that was such a waste of cards, not being able to cast anything. Soaring Thought Thief. Yeah. I mean, the deck list is essentially the same. Except, I would say, I think that Historic is a much worse format to play the deck in. Opponent gets in. Similar to how I don't think the archetype would have a super realistic shot in Modern, I feel like Historic's kind of the same way. There's too many busted things in Historic for the slow and grindy plan to be especially strong. I'll kill a thing, pass the turn. Opponent, so I get a token. Look out. I feel like Wizards is actively forgetting things that used to be obvious as well. Opponent, gonna draw some cards. Remember when Marrow specifically said that it was a bad design to make players want to play patterns they don't want? Then we get blue-8, force your creature to stay back, Samurai. Same with all the miserable Alchemy decks. Huh. I hadn't really thought of it that way, but that is an interesting point. I know exactly how to fix Magic the Gathering Arena in its formats. Remove Alchemy and add cards. Add Pioneer. Alchemy becomes an alternative, like Best of 1 or Best of 3, where you play Alchemy Standard or Alchemy Pioneer, where your cards are tweaked, but no cards are added. If you own the cards, you own the Alchemy version. I mean, so I honestly like aspects of the tweaking card thing. Like, I don't think that tweaking cards is necessarily a bad thing. Well, go to combat. Attack. Opponent. So I think that there are upsides. They're up, in my opinion, to Alchemy. The problem is that the downsides are also very glaring, and for a lot of players seem to outweigh the upsides. All right, opponent has some counters. Sure. Pass the turn, make a 1/1. Yeah, we're just getting milled out of 1 mine. Yeah. I want full Poineer on MTGA or a version of Historic that is Alchemy. Yeah, the idea that they were gonna take in, I forgot how annoying rogues are. Well, back to Poineer. I feel that it was a very big misstep by Wizards to have the nerfs and buffs and changes impact Historic. Like, I feel like Historic it's really amazing. I don't think I've ever seen a format go from very liked to so hated by so many players in such a short period of time. But essentially, that's what happened. Like, essentially, that's all because they added these Alchemy cards. They added these Alchemy cards and these nerfs and these buffs, and the mood of the community really just shifted in the course of, it feels like a handful of days, like almost instantly, from Historic being a really popular, well-liked format to a format where I still enjoy playing Historic on occasion, but I've seen just so much negative reaction to the Historic format that wasn't there before. So I feel like that was a really, really, really big misstep by Wizards. Like, they could have kind of had their cake and eaten it too, I think, had they just announced Alchemy as a format. But then when they were like, oh, and then all the nerfs and buffs are going to impact Historic, and all that other stuff that I don't really see the upside. Like, I don't understand what they were getting out of that. Like, what is the benefit? If players really don't want their Luminarch Aspirant to be nerfed in Historic because you change it for Alchemy, what is Wizards getting out of that? What is the upside for Wizards that makes them so adamant about doing that? I really don't understand. Like, I don't know why they're so all about that, and why that's such a big deal to them. So yeah, I think that was the biggest misstep on Wizards' part by far. Like, if Alchemy had not touched Historic, I think that it would have went a lot, even with the current economy that a lot of players and I struggle with. Like, in those issues, like, I think they could have gotten by with it if they hadn't also had it hit Historic for what players don't see as any reason. Like, it's just, there's not really any good explanation for why they did that. There's no logic to it, or rhyme, or reason, or whatever. So none of the digital only cards see that much play. Personally, and I know other people disagree with this, I don't really mind there being digital only cards in Historic. Like, I do strongly think that there needs to be, and they're going off. I do strongly think that there needs to be a Poineer format on Historic. I think that's essential. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I do think that having some sort of Poineer format is essential, but about it. Got a discard. Yeah, I'm sure they got a draw 4 in hand. What are you playing? Why are you playing the only Lurrus Legal Modern today? Why are you playing only Lurrus Legal Modern today of all days? No, we've been playing Poineer all afternoon, but we decided to try. It's the same exact deck that we just played a league in Poineer, so we decided to try and see how it worked in Historic at the end of the stream. But yes, we have not been playing Historic all day. Opponent loses their draw 4, thankfully. Just a land. All right, rogues, you're in trouble now. We are coming for you. Opponent mills us. Play a land. Legion's End. Get rid of the Soaring Thought Thief. Go to combat. Hit you with Karaxa. Opponent takes it to 4. Ugh. Sack the Karaxa. Oh, do we do this? Maybe we don't. You know what? Let's just play it safe and pass. Opponent untaps. Of one mind, draws 2. That's not a horrible top deck. Historic will have nerfs now. No bans. No bans means no wildcard refunds. All right. Soaring Thought Thief. Mills a couple cards. And a wind. Jeez. All right. Action, action. Mills some cards. Goes to combat. Attacks. Mills some cards. Wow, is our opponent still going to win this? I feel like we're back to our opponent being pretty heavily favored again. All of a sudden. Off of that one draw too. Like now they just block and sack. And draw. Thoughtseize, not very helpful. Well, go to combat. Karaxa. Attack. Opponent goes to 1. Opponent blocks, and sacks, and draws. Yeah. Well, we will deadly dispute. Sack Karaxa. Draw some cards. Get back, Karaxa. We're trying. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this just emptying our graveyard has some value here. Opponent has to discard. No, they get to draw cards off the Wind Robbers, so we don't get to win. Play the land. Get a 1/1 pass the turn. So we don't win, but that was not bad. That was helpful. I wish that Arena had a separate rank queue for Historic and Standard. I have much better Historic decks than Standard decks, so my Standard decks can't compete with my rank. Interesting. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that, but that is a good point. Wow, opponent's getting in there. Okay. Opponent mills. Isn't our opponent dying now, though? Sacks to draw. I mean, they're just hoping for a miracle draw? Did we get him? Opponent passes. Okay. Well, kill the Thieves Guild Enforcer? And opponent! Dud, dud, dud. Okay. Oh, one more. Can we actually beat the Rogues? Oh, they're going to be on the play. We'll see. Yeah. I wonder if that'd be better or worse. I actually don't know. I think that's some legitimate feedback about how... I think that's some legitimate feedback on the downside of the current system. But I don't know if I'd want to have, like... Historic ranked, a Standard ranked, an Alchemy ranked, Historic Brawl ranked, Limited ranked, Best of 3 Limited ranked. Do you split up Best of 3 or Best in 1? So I don't know if the current system is... Oh, this hand is so close to being good. I think we got to mulligan it. Well, this is actually significantly worse. Okay. Well, this we're keeping because we don't have a choice. Bottom and I guess... Oh, dear. Bottom and bottom. Wow, this hand is so bad. Well, that's a bummer. I'm still considering getting into Moto. Your video was helpful. Hey, I'm glad it was helpful. I would definitely recommend Modern. Modern is a wonderful format, and Moto is still my favorite way to play Magic digitally. There's certainly... Arena's got some upside. This is gonna be tough. Needed those red lands. Opponent. I am thrilled. We played Poineer this afternoon, and not having Lurrus is just, it's so refreshing. I do wonder if we're gonna go through like a slow banning of more and more companions. Like, the mechanic is just so busted that, I don't even know if this really matters. The mechanic's just so busted that opponent mills a bunch of cards and Soaring Love. I do wonder if we're just going to see more and more need to be banned. Like, the thing is, being able to start with an extra card compared to your opponents is just inherently broken in Magic. It is inherently broken. It reduces variance, and it's just inherent card advantage. So, I don't know. I wonder if we just keep repeating this process with different companions. Like, Yarion shoots up to 1,000,000% of the meta, and then that gets banned, and it's Jengatha or Abash. Maybe once you get through the... Oh, boy. Well, I guess we're not beating this, are we? That was, well, I mean, I guess that's what rogues can do when they got a good draw. That's why I need MTG Goldfish to play my heavyweight stack. Well, Rooker, I'll see. It could be fun. I'll see what I can do. I would love to see that deck go off. I don't know. I'll see what I can do. Have you played it at all? Have you ever actually got it to go off, Rooker? I would love to see it go off. Is it possible? How many matches? Give me your prediction. Give me your prediction. How many matches do you think I would have to play to get the combo to go off once? Are we talking like a league's worth, or are we talking like a week's worth? I think it'd be super, super, super hilarious to see. Just because those are like some of the worst cards. Like, some of the worst cards in all Magic. Like, they are literally, like, Boldy heavyweights and stuff are just, like, so bad because they give your opponent so much value. So I think you could literally consider that winning with some of the worst rares in the history of Magic. So we'll see. Well, maybe we'll try it sometime, either for a video or a stream, because I do really like the idea, Rugger. It seems absolutely hilarious when it goes off. Oh, on that note, everyone, I think that's Anvil Tribal. So I think the deck is, it's fine in Historic. I like it in Poineer, though. Anointed Procession is sweet. The deck can grind. You get so many tokens. It does cool things. We ended up with a really grindy 3-2, but the deck felt pretty competitive. So that is what it's like to play Poineer without Lurrus. And apparently we'll play some Modern on Thursday. People seem to want some Modern on Thursday. And don't worry, there's a ton of Modern coming up and Poineer and other older formats on the YouTube this week. So on that note, everyone, reminders. Replay YouTube this week and find all the old stream. But yeah, the rental programs on Moto are great. Normal YouTube, tons of stuff going up on there, so definitely check that out. And one more reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom, and if you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/MTG and even get an MTG Goldfish sticker. Just let them know you want one in your order notes, and they'll hook you up. Most importantly, thank you to each and every one of you. Y'all are amazing and awesome and spectacular, and I love y'all. I hope you have an amazing Tuesday night, an amazing Wednesday, whatever you may be doing, and I'll see you on Thursday for some more fun. So until then, have a great one, everyone. I love y'all, and I will talk to you soon.